Hello, my name is Kim, and in this timeless reading, we are going to find out what it is that you can expect and or look forward to in the next 14 days. Now, the next 14 days could be from whenever you happen to be watching this video, or it could be any next 14 days of your choice. Now, I will start each reading by sharing with you an intuitively channeled message, and then I will dive right into the cards to get an overview of the next 14 days. Once I have done so, I will proceed to work with homemade divination dice to get a little bit more detailed information about what it is that you can look forward to and or expect throughout the next 14 days. And to wrap up your reading, I will be pulling out extra oracle cards just to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance that might be of assistance to you throughout this period. Okay, but with that being said, let us now take a closer look at the options. To pull out one more. We have 5 different groups to choose from. Representing group 1 is the green squiggly line with the yellow background. Group 2 is the blue squiggly line with the pink background. Group 3 is the purple squiggly line with the blue background. Group 4 is the purple squiggly line with the yellow background. And group 5 is the magenta squiggly line with the blue background. I know these two might look pretty similar, but trust me, this is a purple squiggly line and this is a magenta squiggly line. Please take a moment to meditate on the options, and whichever you are drawn to the most, then that will be the group and a reading that has a message meant for you to hear at this moment. If you feel drawn to more than one group, then that could be an indicator that there are messages you are meant to hear in more than one group. So if you'd like, you can tune into as many groups as you feel drawn to, or you can tune into one right now and tune into another one at a later time. Now, if it happens to be the case that you are not drawn to any one of these options, then my advice to you is to please not force it. Remember, you can save this video and come back to it at a later time to see if by then you are drawn to one of these options. Or if you'd like, I do have a playlist of other in the next 14 days prediction videos that you can scroll through to see if you feel called to watch any one of those other videos available. And the link to the playlist can be found in the description box as well as the pinned comment in the comment section down below. Okay, but if you have decided to stick around for this video and you have selected a group, then please head on over to either the description box or the pinned comment in the comment section down below to find the timestamps that will allow for you to skip ahead to your selected group. And if you are ready, then let us get started. Let's go. Hello, if you were drawn to group 1, bienvenidos to your reading. So the expression reach out for more and the word present came to mind when meditating on the energy of this group. So I feel like recently you have been feeling this pressure to aspire for more or to do, produce, or achieve more. And there's a lot of anxiety around this, and maybe even feelings of guilt or shame. And so if this is resonating with you, I want you to please take a moment, take a deep breath, as deep as you can, as it's comfortable to you, and then after retaining the breath for 4 seconds, slowly exhale. And in that exhale, release any I should statements. Because really, it's those I should statements, I should be, that are really the issue here. Because honestly, I don't feel like you're behind in any way or that you personally are lacking in anything. So if you're feeling anxious, nervous, restless, or if you have been experiencing feelings of inadequacy, lack, it could be because you have been holding on to, listening to, and trying to feed I should statements, right? Think of it this way. If a fish were told by a bird that it should be able to fly, and the fish decided to believe the bird, then the fish, instead of swimming, would spend its entire life trying to fly and beating themselves up for not being able to do so. Sometimes what we think we should be doing is not what we are meant to be doing, nor is it what we actually would want to be doing. So be careful with trying to meet some I should expectation that might not even be coming from you. Because I bet that before this bird came along, the fish had absolutely no interest in flying. They were okay and very happy with swimming. So be careful with internalizing others' expectations, beliefs, or notions of what needs to be or what should be. Because what might be a priority to others might not be a priority to you, because your experience will be different from the experience of others. It might make sense for the bird to prioritize flying, but not so much for the fish to do so. Okay, but now I'm going to draw out some cards to get an overview of the next 14 days. And we have number 53 with inner beautiful soul. And the message, look within, there is a whole inner ecosystem trying to tell you what it desires. Yeah, so I feel like in the next 14 days, you're going to find yourself taking some time to go within, to ask yourself, what is it that you want? What is it that matters to you? What is it that you want to be doing right now? I feel that recently you could have been quite hard on yourself. I'm sensing a fear. I feel like some of you could have been recently fearing that you weren't living up to some kind of expectation, or that you weren't living up to your potential because you weren't going about things in a certain way, or you weren't reflecting this image of success. And if this is the case, again, I have to wonder whether this is because a part of you feels like it's ready for something new, maybe for something more, or if it's because recently you have been fed this idea that you should be doing more. You should be aspiring for more. Because you're being let know that it's okay to be content. It's okay to be satisfied with something. It's okay if at this moment you don't feel this need to pursue something different or to take something farther or see what else is out there. If you're content observing what is around you at the moment and appreciate every little detail of it, then that's perfectly fine. You're not missing out on anything. You're not wasting time, and you're not wasting your potential. Life is also meant to be taken in, appreciated. Life is not a series of quick showers where you're in and you're out. It's also a bath where you're meant to soak in the bath and relax and enjoy. And if you have been feeling restless, like if you've been experiencing the restlessness of your soul, then in the next 14 days, you are taking the time to just tune in with yourself. Kind of like disconnect from all of the outside noise, to connect with your inner being in order to get more clear about what it is that you're currently restless for. What is it that you are needing, or your soul is needing or calling out for? And a lot of you will find out that what your soul actually has been calling out for has nothing to do with what you think you should be doing, attracting, and or pursuing. Might be similar, but not exactly the same. So I feel like in the next 14 days, you're being advised to take it one day at a time. That might be crummy advice, but that's what is coming through. Because I feel like lately you've been rushing, or you've been feeling like you need to rush, and you're being let know that no, it's okay to slow down. You don't need to have it all figured out right now. You're not expected to. Let me pull out a clarifier. Okay, so we have the Joker card and the 9 of Diamonds, number 39 with the heart. So the Joker card is like the Fool card in traditional tarot, which is a card that speaks of new adventures, new beginnings, a free-spirited energy, a clean slate, as well as childlike wonder. So I do sense that you are in an era or stage of your life where anything can happen. You're not limited to any one thing, any one path. The world is your oyster. And so at this moment, you're not really being expected to do anything, move in any certain direction, follow a specific path, or go about things in a specific way, at least not by the universe. You're free to choose right now. And so if you ever feel like, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, I'm not following my life purpose, or I should be following my life purpose, and so forth, really consider where that is coming from, because right now the universe is not demanding anything from you. And your soul or your inner being is right now simply communicating with you, answering to you. It's because we do have 2 illustrations of a heart. And that makes me think of the heart space, the heart chakra, your inner truth. And so right now, or in the next 14 days, because that's what we're looking at, what is happening is anytime you start thinking about what it is that you want to do, what you could do, your heart space or your inner being responds to you, right? So just as an example, let's say one afternoon I'm sitting with myself and I think, I wonder if I should start offering astrology readings. And then as I sit with that thought, my soul begins to digest what it is that I'm considering, or my inner being begins to digest what it is that I'm considering, and then begins responding to me. Maybe I start feeling tense. And that could be my inner being telling me, no, we're not really interested in that. That's not maybe such a good idea. Or I could start feeling light and elated and excited. And that could be my inner being kind of encouraging me to look further into this, right? Or I could start receiving certain images in my mind, like maybe images that expand on this idea. I could start getting images of how this would look like. And if I respond to that with excitement, then that could be an indicator that, yeah, this is a good idea. This is something that I am actually genuinely interested in, So I do feel like in the next 14 days, you're tuning in more with yourself and with your inner being. You're asking yourself what it is that you want, and especially what makes you or has you feeling excited and enthusiastic. And most importantly, what you care about, right? Because we often can get excited about the idea of things. But then when we start actually implementing the idea and looking at the practical aspects of it, for example, reading tarot sounds pretty cool. Like it's so magical or it's so witchy. Yeah, I really want to read the tarot. But when we start looking at it closer, start breaking it down and seeing what it entails, the components that it's made out of, and what it requires, that's when we start really understanding whether or not we are invested in this, or whether or not we are willing to invest in this, whether we care about it, or we were just more so enamored by the idea of it, the sound of it, right? So I feel like in the next 14 days, you're brainstorming a little bit, but more importantly, you're tuning in with yourself. And when you come across something that really gets your heart beating in a way that lets you know, this is it, this intrigues me, this excites me, I have a soft spot for this, I care about this. That's when you take that very thing and observe it more closely. See, what are its components? What does it require? What does it require of you? And while you're observing this a little bit more closely, you are still tuned in with your inner being, with yourself. It's making me think of like when you check on someone's vital signs, or when you hook somebody to a lie detector, right? And as you're asking them questions, you read the signals of, I guess, their pulse or their heart rate or something like that, to then conclude whether if they're lying, telling the truth, if they're nervous, or if they're calm, and so forth. And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. It's like as you're looking more closely at something, you're also checking in with yourself, like noticing how it is that you respond. Are you still responding with excitement? Now that you're looking at this more closely, do you find that you're becoming less interested in it? You're not as enthused. Or maybe you're a little bit nervous, but the excitement is still there. You're still very much intrigued. You find yourself caring more about this, wanting to dive deeper. If you all of a sudden feel this need to do well when it comes to this, is it because you care about this thing, right? It's like when you're gifted a plant, or you're purchasing a plant, and then you get all this information about this plant and how to take care of it, and you're attentively listening, paying attention, because you're interested in the plant, and you're very much committed to taking care of this plant because now you care about it. And that's kind of the vibe I'm picking up here. So there's like an intuitive, emotional aspect to this, but there's also like a practical, more methodical, logical aspect of this as well, right? Because this is about not simply running with an idea, simply because there was some excitement. This is about really looking into an idea, really considering it as a viable option, as a possibility, breaking it down to see how it is that you respond to it, and also to know more about this very thing. See what it requires of you, what it needs. So if you've been rushing, or you've kind of been pressuring yourself to make up your mind about something, or just know the answer to something, figure something out, that possibly does require a little time from you, like a little patience perhaps, then in the next 14 days, instead of rushing yourself or pressuring yourself to make up your mind about something, you're taking a moment to just be. The Joker card is making me think of lightness. So I feel like in the next 14 days, either you're allowing yourself to try some things, like experiment here and there, or you're just allowing yourself to go with emotions, play with certain ideas, enough for you to get a clearer understanding of what is it that you currently want, or what currently intrigues you, interests you, sparks some joy in you. And what is it that you would like to get started on, get working on? Because I do see you starting something at some point in the next 14 days. Or you're preparing, you're kind of like setting up the table, let's say your work table, or your office, your desk, to work, to study, to create. But you're doing so with lightness. You're doing so without the pressure, without the expectation of needing to have it figured out. You're possibly just experimenting, playing around with things to look at them more closely. Right? We see many layers here. And I feel like you're You're seeing the various layers of something. And this is you considering something more seriously. Even though it might seem like you're just playing around or experimenting, this is you considering something more seriously. Because I feel like for you guys, you're being advised to just go with the flow, to experiment a little bit. If you already have like in mind something that you want to look into further, and what you're waiting for is some kind of confirmation that, yeah, this is the thing for you, go ahead, look further into it. You're being advised to, instead of wait for that outside or external confirmation or validation, first simply ask yourself if this is something that you're interested in. Notice how you feel about it, how your body responds to it. And if you're getting like good signs, positive signs that indicate a green light, then just start working on it. Maybe just start coming up with a plan in regards to it and see whether you're still interested in it. Because right now you're at a point where you're meant to be doing this. Like, this is it. You know, you're not in any rush or any hurry to select anything. Instead, you're being given the time to just kind of experiment a little bit, test here and test there. So if you find yourself starting something, but then kind of leaving it midway because you kind of lost interest in it, don't take that as you wasting time. That's you canceling out, right? That's you letting yourself know, hey, this isn't it. Not for now, or for the next chapter or stage of our lives. So let's move on to the next thing, right? Because I feel like you're right now at some kind of, you're like on a bridge. You're in the in-between. And so when you're in the in-between, you're allowed free reign. You're allowed a sneak peek into all routes, paths that are laid in front of you. So that then you can choose, like, hey, yeah, you know what, for my next chapter, that's what I want to focus on, prioritize, learn more about, etc. Right? But in order to gain more clarity, it's like you do have to kind of get hands-on at times. You do kind of have to like really look closer at something, play with it, see how you feel about it, most importantly. Like, let's say there is something that you're interested in and you look more closely at it and you find that, oh, look, it has kind of a lot of requirements. To kind of pursue this, I would have to know a little bit about the French Revolution. I don't know why I'm thinking about France. Learn more about the history of France or the culture. Or I would have to spend X amount of hours practicing playing an instrument. Like, yeah, am I willing to? Is that something that still excites me? Like, even though there are certain, like, maybe challenges, am I still willing to face them in order to pursue this? And if the answer is yes, or if you're not even thinking about that, you're not even seeing these so-called challenges as challenges, that could be an indicator that, yeah, this is the thing for you, or this is the thing that maybe would be something for you for the next chapter of your life, because you're that interested in it, right? So that's basically what I'm seeing for you guys in the next 14 days. And I do feel like at some point you're going to start, right? Start something. You'll definitely play around with an idea and release yourself of certain expectations that have been placing a lot of unnecessary pressure on you. And if you're happy, if you're content with something, the pace at which something is going in, instead of shaming or guilting yourself for feeling content and satisfied, you're acknowledging this and being okay with it, in the knowing that it's okay to be okay. You don't always have to be pushing the boundaries to know that you are succeeding in life. Life can get semi-easy, or it can get easy. So I feel like the next 14 days about releasing expectations, releasing yourself of pressures that came from you trying to meet certain expectations that weren't really even coming from you. So that then you can really move at a pace that suits you, feels right for you, is right for you. And also focus on that which actually brings you joy and inspires you and fulfills you. And as well as have a motivation that aligns with you, aligns with your values, what you value, what you deem to be important. But now I'm going to move on to the dice. But what came through right now is in the next 14 days, you're experiencing radical self-acceptance. You're finding much freedom in knowing that you can be who you are, as you are, and be doing well. You could be right where you are and be right where you need to be. You don't have to make any drastic or dramatic changes to be in alignment, because as you are, how you are and where you are already in alignment. And I feel like once you really take this in, that's when you'll find yourself being released or releasing yourself of any kind of expectations that weren't and aren't serving you. And now moving on to the dice. For this part of the reading, I do advise that if you're wearing headphones or earphones, with the volume way up, to lower down the volume, because it could get pretty loud. But I will start in 1, 2, 3. And I will only be considering the dice that fell with an illustration facing up and inside one of these sections. So I'm going to be placing these back into the drawstring bag, and I'll only be considering these 3. So 2 of them fell on work, and it's the recycling symbol, the glasses, and on the section of money we have the knot. So the glasses represent a new perspective as well as clarity. So in the next 14 days, some of you are looking at what you do, your line of work, your profession, your career, your job, with a whole new perspective. You're looking at it through a different pair of eyes. That is either reigniting love and or passion for your work, your career, or projects that you have been working on recently that you kind of maybe recently lost your spark for a bit. It could also be that you're seeing matters related to work a little bit more clearly without a filter or certain expectations, which is allowing for you to gain some kind of clarity. Like, for example, maybe what isn't or hasn't been working out, what it is that you do want to leave behind, what is it that you actually do want to look more into, expand upon, or pursue. Something I forgot to mention, which I'm now being reminded of, before drawing out the cards, I did sense that in the next 14 days, you could be revisiting something of the past, or you could be bringing back something of the past and giving it a new image, like remaking it, or you could be redoing something. You could be remastering a past project, for example. Let's say if you worked on something in the past and you semi-completed it, that could be the project that you're working on in the next 14 days to finally complete it. Or if you did do a rough draft of something in the past, but you never went back to revise it, edit it, in the next 14 days, you could be working on that rough draft, editing it, improving it. Or if you developed something in the past that worked out very well for you then, like you got really good results or positive attention because of it, you could be doing something similar to that in the next 14 days. But I do see you bringing back something of the past and redoing it, remaking it, bettering it, improving it, or upcycling it. Also, I sense that in the next 14 days, some of you will be working on your patterns, on breaking certain patterns, or more like noticing your patterns, becoming aware of what your patterns are, especially thinking patterns. Because the first step to breaking out of patterns is noticing what those patterns are, becoming aware of them, so that then you won't repeat them, right? You can stop yourself when you find that you're about to repeat those patterns or encourage them. Now, when it comes to money, we have the knot, and this makes me think of sealing a deal, securing something. So you could be securing a job actually at some point in the next 14 days. And this could be a part-time job or like a one-time gig for a lot of you. For those of you who work on commissions, someone could be requesting a commission from you. Or if you have been working on sealing some kind of deal, like you've been working on a work contract, I feel like you will be sealing this deal, this money or work deal, at some point in the next 14 days. But for sure, you're being let known that in the next 14 days, you're securing a paycheck. You're securing some kind of income. Like the money is yours, is how it's coming through. For sure, you're getting paid. Either in the next 14 days or after these next 14 days, but you're getting paid. The money is in the bag. Some of you could be opening up a bank account, maybe a business account, at some point in the next 14 days as well. And for whatever reason, this knot keeps making me think of the throat chakra, like feeling a knot in your throat. So a lot of you are clearing blockages when it comes to money, your acceptance of money, abundance, financial wealth. I wonder if some of you have trouble speaking or talking about money. If you have this belief that talking about money is taboo, or every time money is brought up, you get a little choked up, or if you have this belief that caring about money, financial wealth is bad. Because the knot makes me think of restrictions. It's almost like someone feeling as if they're not allowed to talk about money, or they're kind of restricted when it comes to the topic of money, financial wealth, possibly even resources. Yeah, so if that happens to be your case, or you're experiencing something similar to that, I feel like in the next 14 days, you're healing your relationship with money. With the Joker card, it's making me think of loosening, kind of loosening the knot, putting less pressure on, or feeling less pressure about this topic. Maybe feeling less pressure to make more money, to be financially wealthy, or to make it all about money, or to not care about money. You're kind of finding a nice middle ground. It's okay for you to care about the financial aspects of things. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make you a greedy or a bad person. It's normal. We live in a world and a reality where money is kind of important. It's an important commodity. And we also, a lot of us live in a society that pressures us to achieve for more when it comes to money, to be financially wealthy, right? To be overflowing with money. Because they make us believe that how much money you have has something to do with your worth, with your value, and possibly even with your stamina, or whether you're someone who's passionate, driven, hardworking or not. When in reality, how much money or financial wealth you accumulate in a lifetime does not have to mean anything about you as a person and your capabilities or your abilities. So, now that I look at the knot, the advice for you is do not tie your worth to money. Money comes and goes. And yes, it can provide some stability and security, but it does not define, nor does it have to define who you are, your worth, your value as an individual. It says nothing about your potential, how smart you are, how capable you are. Really, it doesn't. Some people get lucky with money. Some do. Some people win the lottery. Some people bulldoze through others to acquire their wealth. Some people work really hard, day in and out, to accumulate wealth. Other people inherit their wealth. And there's a lot of talented, hardworking, intelligent individuals out there who do not own mansions or dozens of properties. So one thing does not indicate another. So don't be so in a rush and in a hurry to label yourselves or put yourself in a box. You're multifaceted, right? So give yourself an opportunity to be and to explore and get to know different aspects of yourself. Give yourself a chance to evolve and to grow. And you will see that one thing eventually leads to another. But now I want to pull out an extra oracle cards again, the last messages, advice, and or guidance. I keep imagining a 20-year-old. So I wonder if a lot of you are in your 20s. Or you are in this stage of your life where it feels like you're starting again, or like you can start again, where you're experiencing some kind of beginning, or you feel like you're starting again. You feel like you did when you were maybe in your 20s, when you started becoming a little bit more independent per se. For those of you who attended college, this could be like you're feeling how you did when you just recently graduated college or university, when you were looking for your first apartment, your first house, or you were getting ready to live on your own, or you were applying for your first job. It's kind of that feeling of like starting afresh, starting anew. And maybe that has your heart racing because there's just so many possibilities. There's so many ways this could go. And maybe that's why you're feeling a bit of the pressure of to choose something, to decide, to make up your mind, or to have it all figured out. And you will decide upon something. It's just don't feel so in a rush to, figure your next chapter out from beginning to end, because you're still writing your story, and you're writing your story as you go. Or that's the advice. Allow yourself to write your story as you go. Because who knows, maybe in a couple of months you will feel differently about certain things. And I also feel like you're being advised to not be so in a rush to figure yourself out, because you have your whole life to do that, and different stages of your life will show you new layers of yourself. Okay, but the card that fell out for you is get in the receptive mode, then you'll know if it's a heck yes or a heck no. Yeah, I feel like some of you are trying to figure out whether something is for you, maybe whether it's time to leave something, whether it's time to embark on something new, whether it's a good idea to further invest in something that you've been considering, or keep going at something that you have been working on and or developing. And I apologize for what I'm about to say, because I know it's not what some of you want to hear, but based on the cards, it seems like the only one who has the answer to that is you. And you will get your answer, a very clear answer, when you give yourself a chance to connect with and listen to your inner being. And you will do so when you detach from expectations, from outside noise. Because I feel like there's some kind of expectation coming from the outside that has been kind of messing with you, messing with your mind. If you have been pretty confused as to what you need to do or what you want to do, it could be because of this outside this expectation coming from the outside. Because it could be the situation where when you're tuned in with yourself, you know, like, yeah, this is for me, this is it. But then you hear something. You hear something from, I don't know, the television, or you watch a video, or maybe you watch a reading, or someone shares with you an experience of theirs and how great it's going for them. And once you hear this, once you take in this information, that's when you start questioning again. Like, oh, but am I really doing what is meant for me? Am I really on the right path? Should I be focusing on this? Should I be doing this, or should I be doing that? Maybe I shouldn't be investing in this. Maybe I should be investing in that. And the I should statements start creeping in and making you feel a little bit unsettled. And I feel like if you do end up feeling unsettled after these moments of doubts, or during these moments of doubts, that could be an indicator that your heart is responding to you, like your heart space, your inner being is responding to you in that moment. That you're feeling uneasy because you're considering an idea that isn't really yours, it isn't coming from within. It's like we're feeling uneasy because this doesn't feel like us, this doesn't feel right to us, because it doesn't belong to us, it's not of us. So just keep that in mind, because I feel like you guys, when you're tuned in with yourself, when you're not maybe focusing on what others are doing, how others are going about their lives, you're pretty okay. You're feeling pretty good because you're not being influenced by outside information that is irrelevant to you at this time. Okay? You're instead following your inner guidance and going about things in a way that is suitable for you and resonates with you and feels good to you and serves you, works well with you. But now I want to reveal the message on the card that you selected or you were drawn to. And these cards have quotes from the animated series Adventure Time, by the way. So we have, my new prison is shame. And this was said by the character, the Tiny Manticore. So I find this quite interesting because I feel like shame is what a lot of you have been recently experiencing. Shame, guilt, pressure. And I feel like this is what you are working to release, or you're releasing throughout the next 14 days. By releasing those expectations, those I should statements. You're also releasing feelings of shame by you reconnecting with your inner being. Because your inner being will let you know that all is well and that you're doing well. Shame is a very powerful emotion. It's very inflexible. Shame doesn't really give us an opportunity to correct things. Shame condemns. So don't let shame hold you back. If you make a mistake, it does not mean that you are incapable of ever doing anything right, which is what shame would tell you. It just means that you made a mistake, but you can try again. You can learn and then try again. Or you can practice and then try again. Okay, but any more? So the last card for you is, it's possible to work your way out of doubt. Practice focusing on good thoughts, like what can be and what is becoming instead of what is. Yeah, so a lot of you are learning how to redirect your thoughts, especially to break out of or come out of certain thinking patterns. And remember, there's nothing wrong with experiencing doubt. We all experience doubt. I think doubt can be a gateway to discernment. You know, when we experience doubt, we can either judge ourselves for it, or we can take that as a sign that maybe it's time to introspect a little bit, self-reflect, slow down a bit, tune in with ourselves, check in with ourselves. And that's all. That's it. Because you can bounce back from doubt the same way you can bounce back from sadness or grief. So never feel bad for being human. Never feel bad or shame, most importantly, for experiencing human emotions, for experiencing fear, for hesitating at times, for not being completely 100% certain about things, because that is all completely normal. It's part of the human experience. It's what makes us human, I think, and not robots or machines. So you're not doing anything wrong when you experience any of these things. You're just going through the motions. Heart-shaped things could be of significance. The heart chakra seems to be of importance as well. You will be connecting with your heart space throughout the next 14 days. You could also be clearing certain blockages in the heart chakra, or just exercising in the heart chakra is how it's coming through. Yeah, by being honest with yourself, being transparent about how it is that you feel, what you actually like and what you don't like, regardless of what other people think or say. And you're also exercising your heart space through you allowing yourself to enjoy what it is that you naturally enjoy, by allowing yourself to have fun and pursue things just because you are interested in them, without really knowing whether this is going to lead to anything. Like, you're not doing this for money, you're not doing this because it's your life's mission or your life's purpose, or you think it is, or because you should be doing it. You're simply doing it because you want to enjoy yourselves, you want to play, you want to have fun, or because it interests you, right? So just as an example, let's say I pick up a book on runes and I read it without pressuring myself to learn everything about runes so that I can then implement it in my readings. I'm just reading a book about runes because it interested me and I'm enjoying my time reading this book, right? I'm not assigning it as homework or as research. It's just for entertainment. It's just for fun. If I learn something in the process, then great. And if then by the time I finish this book, or as I'm reading this book, I do want to learn more about runes or start studying, then that's a decision I will be making, but I will be making with awareness and without that pressure. Like, yeah, this is something that I want to do because I'm excited, not because I think I should be researching about learning about runes, but because I want to. And hopefully I can implement it in my readings. You know, it's like having a different approach to things that is not so like in your face or so strict or so determined all of the time. Because things don't have to be so set, so cutthroat all of the time. Okay? The number 53, 39, or 9, as well as 8 and 12 could be of significance. And then knots, ropes, sunglasses, eyeglasses could be of significance as well. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. Yes, but this is all for now. I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful next 14 days, and until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello, if you were drawn to group 2, bienvenidos to your reading. So 2 expressions came to mind when meditating on the energy of your group, which were wake up and smell the roses, as well as satiety within. So in the next 14 days, some of you may feel inspired to take some time to either introspect, self-reflect, or possibly digest certain recent events, while others of you will be taking the time to give thanks. Maybe personally thank someone or a group of people in your life for having been there for you through a specific period, or for having assisted you in some kind of way, possibly even for having taught you a very important lesson. Or you could simply be feeling a lot of gratitude for certain blessings in your life. Okay, but now let me move on to the cards. Ooh, that was fast. Okay, so we have number 76 with building, growth, and the message. There is something worth building upon, and it all starts with a sturdy foundation. Keep moving upward no matter the obstacles. It will only get better every day. A next step in your process is necessary. Welcome in the newness and relocation of mind, body, and soul. And I did notice that this card fell out in the reversal or upside down, so that is how I'm going to interpret it. And now for the clarifiers. Okay, we have the 5 of Diamonds, number 28, the anchor. Interesting. So the 5 of Diamonds often indicates a change for the better, happiness and success. And the message on the card reads, the anchor denotes successful ventures in business and love. So when I saw the building card in the reversal, I immediately thought that in the next 14 days, you are experiencing a continuation of whatever it is that you have been working on or developing recently. So whatever momentum you have built, it's not stopping anytime soon in the next 14 days. So if things have been faring pretty well in terms to work, business, finances, projects, things will continue to fare well in the next 14 days. The anchor here makes me think of stability. So I don't see any drastic or concerning fluctuations per se. Things are pretty stable. So the next 14 days feels like when the ship is anchored at the harbor, right? The ship is still well and thriving. It's afloat. It isn't sinking, but it isn't necessarily sailing because it's anchored, right? So I feel like the next 14 days are going to be pretty calm. There is going to be consistency, or you will experience some consistency, because I don't feel there's going to be a lot of changes occurring. Like I said, things seem to be pretty stable, pretty ongoing, because that's what the kind of the vibe I was getting, like a continuation. And because I was picking up on a bit of a hermit vibe at the beginning, which is why I mentioned introspection and self-reflection, I feel like for some, the next 14 days could feel like a pause. And not necessarily because nothing is happening. I feel like things are pretty much moving, continuing, but nothing drastic, major is happening, right? And that's why for some, it might feel like not much is happening. But yeah, there is progress in the next 14 days. There is momentum. It's just that the speed isn't picking up. Think of it as a race. I don't know much about racing, but I'm thinking, more like a marathon, right? A runner in a marathon needs to pace themselves to save up energy. And so at times they will be running at the same speed, at the same pace for a couple of miles. But even though they aren't exactly speeding at times, that doesn't mean that they're not moving forward, because they are, right? So even when it seems like not a lot is happening, progress is still being made. And actually, the next 14 days feels like a respite, like a moment given to catch one's breath. It's something necessary, something that is required. Almost like a pit stop, but not really, because I don't see things necessarily stopping in the next 14 days. It just feels like things are calming down, kind of leveling out, stabilizing a bit, so that one can find their footing, or that something can kind of catch their breath. And if it is the case that recently things haven't been faring well in terms to like your finances, business hasn't been going so well, there hasn't been a lot of profit, for you guys, I do feel like at some point in the next 14 days, you are going to experience betterment. The word pivot came to mind. So some of you could be pivoting in your business, maybe running or managing it in a different way. That is going to change the outcome for you, because I do see you experiencing a difference in, let's say, sales and profit, revenue. It could also be engagement. There is going to be, and I apologize for calling it small because no breakthrough is ever actually small, but that's how it's coming through, a small breakthrough, because this feels like the beginning of something. So in the next 14 days, if you do decide to like manage things differently, or you do decide to make stuff like little adjustments here and there with the hopes of making or seeing improvements, then these changes you will be making will give you positive results. Because I keep being shown like a line graph or a chart, and it's like there's a spike, and that spike is letting someone know, oh, that worked. There's potential there. You know, that's a good sign. That's a positive sign. So let's run with that. So you could be experiencing a spike or some kind of betterment, and that will inform you about what works or what can work. And then after that, I do see things kind of leveling out a bit. But where things are leveling out feels like a better basis than where things were before. I'm being shown a lot of like graphs and lines in my mind, but I don't know how to like interpret it or how to best convey it. But one thing's for sure is that wherever you are currently, especially in terms to your financial situation, like revenue, profit, money, or anything that you associate with stability, security, or even safety, things will be leveling out in the next 14 days. It's sort of this feeling of, if you're good right now, then things will remain as they are. But if you're not in such a good spot, let's say, in the next 14 days, something will occur to put you in a good spot so that then things could level out, right? Because the important thing is putting you in a spot where you're safe and secure, or you feel safe and secure, so that then you can experience consistency from there. Because I feel like you are meant to go through a period where things are kind of consistent or stable. There are no drastic fluctuations, ups or downs. Because this is your reprieve. It's like this is a time being given to you to catch your breath, to regain your footing, or to experience some level of peace and tranquility. Think of it like if you were on a journey by foot, and you needed to, it was time to camp. It was time to sleep or eat or whatever. Well, you're not just going to set camp wherever. You're going to set camp somewhere that is safe, somewhere where you're protected, somewhere where you can relax, to actually have a good night's sleep, right? So first, universe is going to get you to a good camping spot, to a good point, so that then you can camp, right? So that's kind of the vibe I'm picking up here. So it will very much depend on where you are currently, because like I said, if things aren't looking so well, if there is a lack of stability, I feel like at some point in the next 14 days, either you will experience some kind of breakthrough or betterment, or like a turn of events, let's say, or an opportunity will present itself to you so that you can then obtain that stability. So that then you don't have to like paddle, you can ride the waves instead. So some of you may feel inspired during this time to start something, maybe make adjustments as previously stated, especially if things aren't like looking so well, or like I mentioned already, there is a lack of stability, let's say. But for others of you who have been experiencing stability, like things are faring pretty well, working well, I just heard in my mind the character Clocksworth from Beauty and the Beast saying, if it ain't broke, why fix it? So if that's your mentality at some point in the next 14 days, then I don't really see you starting anything or making any drastic changes or adjustments. You're pretty much just sticking to what you have already been doing and just going from there. And like riding the waves is how it's coming through. Yeah, so the next 14 days could be quite blissful. Quite ordinary is how it came to mind, but peaceful. Yeah, and I feel like things will also remain or be quite peaceful at home. There isn't going to be any changes to the household, is how it came through. Like no one is leaving and there will be no newcomers, or things will be pretty peaceful and tranquil in a living situation. Although by some point in the next 14 days, you may receive news that a room is available or that a room will be made available soon, or that you can change or shift the layout of a room or of a space, or change your room, or maybe an office or a desk. How it's coming through. I don't feel like this change is necessarily going to be happening in the next 14 days. It's more like you're receiving news that you could be making this change pretty soon if you wanted to, or that a room will be made available pretty soon, something along those lines. Yeah, because for whatever reason, the anchor all of a sudden made me think of moving. Yeah, so maybe after the next 14 days, a lot of you will be considering physically moving to a new location, moving to a new office, to a new desk, to a new room. So maybe after the next 14 days, some of you will be preparing to make some kind of physical move, or you will be making plans to physically move at some later point. Yes. Oh, and if you have recently been making like renovations to your home, or you've been redecorating, kind of like changing things around in your space, I feel like in the next 14 days, you're going to be pretty content and are happy with how things are. I don't necessarily feel that you're done renovating or redecorating or reimagining your space per se, but I do feel like for now, for the next 14 days, you're feeling pretty okay with how everything is, or you could be feeling called to just leave everything as is for the meanwhile. And if you have recently moved in somewhere new, I feel like in the next 14 days, you're feeling pretty happy and are content in your new place, and it's feeling much more like home. Yes. Okay, but now I'm going to move on to the dice. So for this part of the reading, if you're wearing headphones or earphones, with the volume way up, I do recommend for you to lower down the volume just to protect your eardrums, because it could get pretty loud and noisy. So I will start in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I will only be considering the dice that fell with an illustration facing up and on the board and inside the section. So we'll be putting this one back. So we only have the person, the stick figure more like, that fell right on money. And when I looked at the stick figure, it made me think of like someone being electrified. Not electrocuted, but electrified, like excited, thrilled. And so, yeah, as mentioned, if things haven't been looking so great in the money department, or when it comes to like a business, especially a self-made business, a home business or a business that you started from home, things are going to look better at some point in the next 14 days. I feel like some of you are trying something new, or you're making just a few slight changes or adjustments and it's working out, it's giving good results, and you're feeling pretty excited about this. But I am sensing excitement coming from a lot of you because something is giving results, or it's looking a lot better, or it's looking up. A situation is looking up. I also see some of you receiving money at some point in the next 14 days, or you receiving news that soon you will be receiving funds. So if, let's say, you applied for a loan, or you have been waiting for a paycheck, or you have been waiting to receive some kind of money or accolades. Oh, or you have been waiting for a return of your investment. I feel like in the next 14 days, this money is going to start trickling in, or you're going to receive news that soon you will be seeing this money, receiving it. Maybe not necessarily in the next 14 days, but soon after these next 14 days. And that's why you're feeling pretty excited. And maybe that's why some of you aren't making any big money moves. Let's say you're not really making any drastic changes, like investing anymore, or making any big purchases because you're waiting for this money to come in first, which I feel like it's pretty wise of you to do that, because first you're securing the bag before you make any more investments. Yeah, so although this card did fall out on the reversal, I do want to let you know that you are experiencing progress, or you will be experiencing progress, and I feel like very soon you will experience and or see some growth. Yeah, I wonder if some of you are experiencing like I wouldn't necessarily say a slow buildup, but that could be the case, where you see a rise in profit and then things kind of level out for a little while, and then you reach another point where you see another rise in profit and then things level out for a little while, and then so on and so on. And so it's like a gradual kind of growth instead of things just skyrocketing from the very beginning. Or what I'm being shown is that this is how it's going to be from now on, which is a steady growth. Because via this way, you're going to experience a lot more consistency and stability. And you will also have time to kind of get adjusted to the new rhythm, to the new pace of things, or the new flow. Because I'm seeing a situation where you kind of grow and then you are given time to get adjusted and familiarized with this new, let's say, phase or stage, to a point where you become so familiarized, so used to it, that you outgrow it. And when you outgrow it, that's when you experience another, let's say, growth spurt. And then you're given the time to get adjusted to that, and then the same thing happens and so forth. So this genuinely feels like growth, like a beautiful maturation. Because you're going through these various different stages and you're kind of learning from each one and taking something valuable from each one. So that's a beautiful energy. Oh, and I also get the feeling that some of you could actually be starting a new job, or your first day at work could be at some point in the next 14 days. Or maybe you recently started working and in the next 14 days you're receiving your first paycheck, perhaps. And that is pretty exciting, right? Like, my first paycheck. Or like, yeah, I'm getting paid. Because I'm sensing a lot of excitement around receiving money, seeing an increase in money, or seeing money just coming in. Some of you could be very excited about having a stable income, knowing that, hey, I am going to get paid by the end of the week. But now I'm going to pull out an oracle card to get any more messages, advice, and or guidance. And we have quiet your mind and listen. Talking all the time or asking others for advice drowns out your inner voice. Talk less, feel more. Yeah, so at the beginning of your reading, at the start of your reading, I did mention how some of you could be taking the time or feeling called to take time to introspect and self-reflect. And the message here reminded me of that. So you could be feeling called to just take some time to meditate, go within, listen to your own intuition and to your own inner guidance. Or if you find yourself conflicted about something, needing to make up your mind, needing to make some kind of important decision, you're being advised to take some time to go within, right? It's okay for you to ask for guidance, for second opinions from others, but never forget to also go within. Give yourself some time to formulate your own thoughts and opinions and feel into your own intuition. Consider your own instincts and listen to your own inner guidance. Okay, but now I'm going to reveal the message on the card that you were drawn to. And by the way, the quotes on these homemade cards are from the animated series Adventure Time. And we have, the answer was so simple, I was too smart to see it. And this is a quote said by the character Princess Bubblegum. Yeah, so again, I feel like some of you are doing something different in the next 14 days. If it is the case that something hasn't exactly been working out or bearing fruit or giving good results, right? And so if that happens to be your case, I feel like you will experience this moment of, so that's what it was, right? All I needed was to just shift that around, or all I needed was to maybe remove that or add that to get the results that I wanted. Amazing that the answer or the solution to my problem or issue was so simple. So if you are making adjustments and changes, I don't feel like they're going to be so major. I feel like it's going to be, which is why I mentioned like a small breakthrough, because I feel like the changes you're making are going to be quite small, or they're going to seem quite small to your eyes or in your perspective, that it might just end up amazing you how just this little tweak or that little tweak made such a huge difference. But once again, if you feel like you need some kind of clarity, or you're trying to find the answer or the solution to some kind of problem that you are facing, don't rush to find the solution, but rather maybe pause for a moment, take some time to really ponder on the situation, maybe even distance yourself from the problem per se, to be able to maybe emotionally detach from it a little bit, to obtain a newer and fresher perspective on the situation. Maybe see the situation or the problem from a different angle, right? Because sometimes when we're so involved in something, we tend to kind of like overcomplicate things, or whatever problem we are facing, it seems more magnanimous to us than it really is, because we're just so close to it. But if we distance ourselves from it, we can see that, although this is a problem, or it is an issue, it's not so big that I can't really handle it. No, this is manageable, it's doable, I can handle it, and there's actually many ways in which I can address this issue or solve the problem and so forth, because I feel that will be the case for you guys in the next 14 days. So just give yourself some time and you will find the solution, or the answer, the solution will come to you if you just give yourself some time. Yeah, and actually some of you might be taking a break from something you've been working on if you face some kind of dead end when it comes to whatever it is that you have been working on. Like the example that is coming to mind is someone experiencing a creative blockage or like a brain fart, and instead of like trying to push through that, they take a little break, they take a step back in order to kind of give their mind, their brain a breather, so that then new ideas could come in, or inspiration could strike, or a light bulb moment could be experienced. Because I do feel a lot of you will have this kind of light bulb moment, an epiphany, or some kind of realization. Yes, but let's see. And I felt called to look at the card at the bottom of the deck, and it's don't be a problem solver, be a solution allower. Yeah, so I feel like that's the advice for the next 14 days. Be a solution allower. Don't focus so much on the problem that you forget to look around for the solution. Yeah, so the solution, the answer will come to you if you just give it some time. And if you just give yourself some time to receive the information that you need, or to go within, tune in with yourself, allow your brain to do its thing. Sometimes our brain can take a little while to process things and find answers. So just give your little brain its time to work it out, okay? And it will work it out. Yeah, and also know that the universe is working with you. So if you have asked for guidance or assistance, they're working on it. And I feel like you will be receiving it. This assistance, this guidance is going to come in at some point in the next 14 days. Yeah, so you will be helped out, because that's the priority, I feel. Like, especially if you've been going through it, or you've been experiencing instability. The priority in the next 14 days is to get you to a safe zone, or to help you regain stability or find stability. But let's see, things I want to point out: crescent moons, red roses, or red flowers. So the color red could be of significance. Anchors could be an important symbol or sign, a good omen as well. And rainbows could also be a good omen, an important sign or symbol for the next 14 days. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it resonated with you. If you are new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. And if you're interested in a personal reading, all the information to that can be found in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. Before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. So thank you very much, and I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful next 14 days. And until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello, if you were drawn to group 3, bienvenidos to your reading. So I feel like in the next 14 days, you are going to be focusing and concentrating on your dreams, your wishes. I sense you zoning in on a desire, on a vision, image, and through that, attracting that which you are zoning in on, or aligning with the energy frequency of that which you are zoning in on. In my mind's eye, I keep seeing this merging. So it's like you're aligning with, or you're merging with an outcome, a timeline, or an energy. Like the essence of that thing which you are zoning in on, dreaming of, wishing for. The words peace and quiet did come through when meditating on the energy of this group. So a lot of you could be craving and are wanting some peace and quiet in the next 14 days, or possibly that is what you are attracting and or manifesting. Some peace and quiet or a peaceful era. In my mind's eye, I keep seeing someone being enveloped by a sparkly aura or goo, and it feels or it looks quite peaceful, quite serene to me. I know it might not sound like it, but to me it looks like, or it feels quite peaceful. And so it's almost as if you are drawing in and covering yourself up with, or enveloping yourself with a new energy or essence, is how it's coming through. The next 14 days for you could be quite magical, or you could feel like the energy is shifting, like you are transitioning into something new, something very, very different than from what you have experienced before, or that you haven't experienced in a long while. Yeah, because these sparkles, I keep seeing sparkles in my mind's eye, make me think of something magical or ethereal. Makes me think of cosmic energy. So some of you could be connecting with the cosmos. You could be practicing some magic, maybe doing some spell work, or working with energy, alchemizing it, transmuting it, shaping and forming it. Let's see. Oh, so 2 cards fell out together, and we have 78 with don't make plans, spontaneity, and the message, sometimes planning too early in advance has a strong probability of things not turning out exactly how you planned. Don't put any expectations into a situation. Go with the flow and allow in spontaneity. More fun surprises are accepted this way. And we also have 58 with intoxicated, hypnotized, and a message, a situation may make you feel intoxicated, not literally, but mentally and emotionally. Be sure to not get lured into any illusions. The illustration, the intoxicated card, made me think of hypnosis. It also made me think of the third eye chakra and of clairvoyance. So in the next 14 days, you could be having visions of alternative timelines, possible future scenarios and or outcomes. You could be having prophetic dreams. All of a sudden I was reminded of Raven from the Disney show That's So Raven. Raven was a psychic or a clairvoyant, and she often got visions of the near future at random moments. And I'm noticing that both of these 2-digit numbers have the number 8 in it, so that number could be of significance. Maybe that's your birth month or your life path number. But the number 8 also reminds me of the infinity symbol. So the infinity symbol could be of significance. And the infinity symbol reminds me of cosmic energy, of manifestation, because in the tarot, we often see the infinity symbol crowning or hovering right above the magician's head or crown chakra. And the magician is all about manifesting, leadership, and assertion. The magician can also talk about discipline, self-discipline, and willpower. The card Hypnotize is reminding me of what I mentioned at the beginning about you concentrating and or focusing on a wish, a dream, or a vision, not necessarily a goal or a plan, right? Because this is more like zoning in on an idea or even on a feeling, a sensation, which is why I kept using the word energy, because this feels like a gravitational pull, like magnetism. It's like you sensed or picked up on the essence of something that was very much to your liking, that you resonated with deeply, and because of that, you locked into it, and now you're drawing it in, right? So with Don't Make Plans, it's sort of like, I know I want something, and I'm calling it in, I'm drawing it in, or I'm creating it, I'm manifesting it, but I don't really know how it looks like in detail, right? I have an idea of something, but I don't yet have a plan as how to make this idea reality. But I have the gist of it. I feel it. I understand it. I just don't yet have all the details in regards to it. That's kind of the energy I'm getting here. And so in the next 14 days, it's sort of like you're feeling more into this. You're letting it unfurl or unfold within your mind's eye or within you. It's like a painting that is slowly revealing itself to you. And you're letting it, right? Oh, you know, it's like when you reveal a film. There's a whole process one has to do for the picture or the image to slowly start revealing itself, right? And so you have to be a little bit patient with it. And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. It's like, instead of trying to rush the process, you're just letting it be. You're letting for something to come to you. And this could be like an aha moment, an epiphany, or it could be an idea. It could even be like a plan, or it could be an actual tangible thing, right? This makes me think of when someone is very sensitive to energy and they start picking up on something incoming or an energy shift, right? And instead of trying to rush to find out what this is all about, what is incoming, what does this shift mean, what is ending, what is beginning, what is changing, they just allow for things to unfold, for whatever is incoming to slowly start revealing itself, maybe via signs, intuitive information, or just tangible evidence. But the clarifier is the 10 of Hearts with number 7, the bouquet. So the 10 of Hearts indicates good luck, success, and it's also a card that often indicates good fortune after difficulty. And the 10 of Hearts often reminds me of the 10 of Cups in traditional tarot, which is a happy card. It talks about bliss and a happy home life, happy family, contentment, and emotional fulfillment. And I'm being reminded of, again, what was mentioned at the start of your reading, how some of you could be craving and are wanting peace and tranquility, or that's exactly what you are attracting, manifesting. And so the 10 of Hearts is letting me know that, yeah, you're entering or transitioning into a peaceful era. The 10 of Hearts with a Don't Make Plans card makes me think of someone putting their guard down. Like, you're entering a time in your life where you feel so safe and at ease that you don't feel this need to be constantly on guard and are preparing for whatever may come, or feeling this need to be 1 or 2 steps ahead so that you won't be caught off guard by any surprises. It's like, no, you know what? I can relax. I feel so safe and at ease that I can finally just relax and be. And it's okay. I don't have to wait for the next shoe to drop because I'm safe. This is my time now. And so in the next 14 days, you could be loosening up a bit, or you could be going more with the flow. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting, where you're not feeling this need to make any plans or think ahead. You're not feeling this need to look into the future or know what is coming next. You're instead enjoying your here and now, which is quite interesting because the less you feel this need to look into the future or to know about the future or what is next, the more information you receive about the future or possible outcomes, right? It's like the less you pursue, the less you chase, the more you attract. And whatever information you're getting about, let's say, the near future, and I put like air quotes because, you know, time is an illusion, but anyways, this information is information that will be relevant and helpful to you. It is information that will provide you with some kind of insight that you can use in your here and now. And it's also information that will end up inspiring you or can inspire you. Because most of this information I see you channeling, let's say, are more like possibilities, themes, topics that are meant to inspire you or show you what is plausible. It's like you're being shown the tools that are currently in your toolbox, the ones that you can right now, if you wanted to, reach out and work with. And I do see a lot of you receiving like visions or images in your mind's eye. And these images will inspire a feeling in you. And I feel like it is the feeling rather than the image that is important. Because whatever kind of feeling it inspires in you, that feeling is kind of the gravitational pull. Right? It's kind of like the magnet that will attract more of which is similar to the essence and energy or energy frequency of that same feeling. I hope this is making sense. But the beautiful thing about this with the Don't Make Plans card is that you have free will throughout this whole process. So you will get to decide what feelings, what sensations you approve of, right? So let's say if an image pops up in your mind and it inspires a certain feeling and you approve of that feeling, then you have the authority, let's say, to say yes to or deny, reject that feeling. In that moment, you can say, yes, I like this. This is what I want to attract more of. Or you can say, no, I don't really like that. I reject that. And what you declare will be. We do have the number 7 in your spread, which is known to be a very spiritual number. The number 7, or whenever I see like repeated 7s, it always makes me think of good luck, good fortune, hitting the jackpot. So there's a lot of like magical energy that I'm picking up here, a lot of cosmic energy going on. So the next 14 days feels like a fabulous window of time to manifest, to attract, to maybe shift timelines, create a new reality, or even change your own energy field, right? Because those sparklies that I was seeing in my mind's eye are kind of reminding me of an auric field. So in the next 14 days, you could be cleansing, clearing your auric field or changing it, alchemizing it, transmuting it through you focusing on new things, right? Prioritizing new ideas, believing in different outcomes, more positive outcomes, right? And now I was reminded of taste. It's like you're tasting something different in the next 14 days, or your taste could be changing. You could be experimenting a bit, trying new things, like literally tasting new foods. The word invite is coming to mind, like inviting new energies, but that feel good to you, or inviting new experiences that are uplifting to you, or that will uplift you, or that excite you. It's like you're giving space or making room for your dreams, like things that maybe in the past you thought were too far-fetched or were impossible to experience in the 3D reality. You're now in the next 14 days very open to experiencing them, or believing that they could actually happen. Because with don't make plans, what is coming through is maybe in the past, some of you had decided that some things were just not meant to be, right? Things that you really longed for or wanted. You know, the 10 of Cups in traditional tarot is often known as the happily ever after card, or the happy ending, or fairy tale ending per se. And so there could have come a point where you told yourself, no, happy endings don't exist. Or maybe they're real for other people, but they're not real for me. It's like you canceled an idea, but an idea that brought you much joy at some point in your life, or that you connected with heart and soul, because you kind of lost faith, or you lost hope in a way, or you didn't want to get your hopes up to prevent disappointment. But in the next 14 days, a shift is happening. It's like your mind's eye, your third eye is being activated or opened to show you that, no, hey, like this is possible. And so something in you that you possibly decided to lay dormant is now reawakening. It's like the hope, the faith, the joy is reawakening, or will be awakened, or has been awakened in the next 14 days. And there's this feeling of nothing can stop it. It's happening. Because this feels like it's happening on an energy level. Like it's happening in the very depths and core of you, which is quite interesting, I will say. So I wonder if recently you have been doing some energy cleansing, energy healing, because it almost feels like this is the result of a blockage having been removed, or of someone having addressed and or healed an emotional wound, or possibly even some kind of trauma. It could even be a generational trauma. Yeah, because the 10 of Hearts makes me think of the family lineage, the home. And this is why something is now being activated, or it's being reawakened. It's like you're now getting access to new portals, to new doors, to new gateways. That before, because of these possibly blockages or traumas, you didn't have access to, or more like these blockages, these traumas kept you from accessing them, right? Because accessing these like gateways, these portals, these realities, these opportunities, these dreams, let's say, would contradict these traumas, these blockages, or would disempower them, would invalidate them, right? Because if there was some kind of emotional wound that said, no, happiness is not meant for you, then you reaching out for something that made you happy would invalidate the belief of that wound, right? Would disprove whatever that emotional wound was telling you. And then that wound would have to face the reality that, no, hey, yeah, happiness is available to us, and we can experience happiness, and we are worthy of happiness. So what are you going on about? Like, no, emotional wound. See, it's okay for us to be happy. You can be happy. So let's experience happiness. Because I keep seeing someone now having access to something that brings them a lot of joy, or that really resonates with them heart and soul. Yeah, so whatever it is that you're attracting or being drawn to, whatever it is that you're locked in to, is something that feels, or will feel very right to you, will feel very, very familiar, is how it's coming through. Some of you could be working with the hypnotherapist, or you will be going under a hypnosis, and maybe it is through this hypnosis that you will experience some kind of breakthrough, or release a blockage, or awaken a part of you that has been laid dormant for a while because of emotional wounds or some kind of resistance, possibly fears. It could also be traumas. Yeah, and this is giving you access to a different layer of yourself, or other parts of yourself, other parts of your being, of your own energy field, of your own auric field. This feels very spiritual. And the bouquet here is making me think of replacing dried flowers or old flowers with fresh flowers. So at some point in the next 14 days, you yourself could be feeling quite refreshed, renewed. You might be feeling a little bit different, but good different, like with a spring to your step. Your energy might feel lighter. You might find that there's less mental clutter. You might find yourself spacing out at times, or daydreaming quite a bit, or feeling inspired to daydream. But I feel like when that is happening, or it will happen, it's when you are channeling, right? You're kind of opening your third eye and seeing into timelines, or you're kind of seeing the energies around you. You're receiving ideas, those ideas that I spoke of that are meant to inspire a feeling, to help you connect with certain energy frequencies, or maybe even timelines, or to just inspire or uplift you. Yeah, so I feel like the advice for the next 14 days is to go with the flow, allow for things to reveal themselves to you. Everything that you need to know in the next 14 days won't be made available to you. So you don't really need to go searching or digging into anything to obtain the information that you need to move forward, move ahead, progress throughout the next 14 days, or to face or address whatever might arise and or present itself to you in the next 14 days. I feel like you're also being advised that for this time to be flexible, right? Don't get so set on things needing to look and be a certain way, or don't be so quick to make up your mind about what is possible and not possible for you, right? Because it feels like in the next 14 days, a lot of doorways, gateways, and the cosmic and the cosmos is opening up for you. So don't be afraid to think of or hope for that which makes you happy. Don't be afraid to dream big in the next 14 days. Don't be afraid to ask for that which you truly long for and desire, or ask for things that make you happy or inspire a good feeling in you. Claim that which you want, and then allow for things to unfold. And I feel like in the next 14 days, it will really help if you tune in more, focus more on the feeling. How it is that you want to feel. What you want to feel more of. Focus on the sensations as well. Rather than the image, let's say. Rather than on words, labels, titles. It's more about the impression that you're being asked to focus on. This energy is kind of reminding me of a Claude Monet painting. Impressionism. The focus is on the light, the color, the shape, as they are perceived by the viewer, by the artist. And you are the artist. And so it's about the feeling, an image, an idea, a vision inspires in you. I wonder if some of you actually see auras, or if some of you have synesthesia, or if you have a very strong connection to colors. Some of you could be colorblind. There's something about colors, texture, sparkles, or light that seems to be of importance or significance. So some of you could be experiencing a third eye activation in the next 14 days, where you might actually be seeing auras or energy fields, or colors and texture might seem the more richer to you, vibrant at some point in the next 14 days. Really interesting energy. But now I'm going to move on to the dice. So for this part of the reading, if you have your headphones or earphones with the volume way up, I do recommend for you to lower down the volume just to protect your eardrums because it might get pretty loud. So I will start in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm only going to be considering the dice that fell with an illustration facing up and on the board, as well as inside a section. And this one didn't necessarily fall inside of a section, but I feel called to leave it here, so I'm just going to place it right here. So on money, we have the bumblebee or the honeybee, and then on love, we have the park bench. And then the one that fell outside on the board, but outside of the sections here is the tree. Ooh, so the tree made me think of a family tree. So some of you could definitely be healing generational wounds, generational traumas. You could be breaking generational patterns, cycles, even contracts is what came to mind. Oh, but what I heard in my mind was the family is healing. So that could be a message for some of you. In the next 14 days, some of you could be spending quality time with family members. Yeah, and it could be a situation where one day you get up and all of you agree that you want to go out to eat, or you decide today we're going to the beach, and then you spend a day at the beach, and it's like unplanned, it's very spontaneous, but you all agree to have this spontaneous adventure and end up having a great time and making beautiful memories. Yeah, I'm sensing a lot of lightheartedness here. Or what else I'm seeing is maybe you did make plans to go out somewhere or meet up somewhere, but then things don't go exactly according to plan, and you do meet up, but you end up meeting up somewhere else. But you still end up having a really good time. I specifically see this being in relation to family, but remember, family could be your blood relatives, but it could also be your chosen family, right? So like friends that you see as family. But for money, we have the bee, and this makes me think of abundance, wealth. Honeys, which is what bees help to produce, is like nature's gold, nature's treasure. So in the next 14 days, you're feeling quite abundant, wealthy, rich. And I do feel like this is in the sense of you feeling emotionally abundant, but also in the sense of you having everything that you need. You're not feeling like you're lacking in anything because you have everything that you need to thrive, to succeed, whatever that might mean to you in specific. The bee on the money sign makes me think of an abundance mindset. So in the next 14 days, I do see you having an abundant mindset. And so this lets me know that you're attracting even more wealth into your life. So money is coming in, or you're living quite happily in the next 14 days in the knowing that you are producing wealth, like financial wealth. I'm sensing contentment. It's like you're quite content with your financial situation, or you're quite content with how things are turning around for you, or how they're looking up, or how they are looking. What I just heard in my mind is I have money in the bank. So in the next 14 days, a lot of you could be feeling quite relaxed and at peace in knowing that you do have a financial safety net, or you do have your savings. But, because I kept talking about like generational, like family lineage and like generational patterns, it could also be that a lot of you are feeling quite happy in the knowing that you are creating generational wealth, or that that's where you're heading. A lot of you could also be feeling quite happy in the knowing that it's not only you who is currently experiencing financial either wealth or stability, but also your loved ones. because I'm sensing a lot of contentment, a lot of peace. Like, I'm good, they're good, we're all good. It's all good. Your family could be quite wealthy, like financially wealthy or well off, or it could just be that your family as a whole, who you deem to be family, is just wealthy. Like, they might be wealthy in health, meaning they have good health, or they might be very good looking, very radiant, charming, charismatic, talented, intelligent, skilled. Because you and your loved ones are coming through as an abundant bunch. Like, all of you are radiating. But the bees are known to be quite hardworking, so this lets me know that you have worked very hard for your wealth, your stability, and you know that. Or I hope you know that. And so you have no problem with treating yourself to something nice and treating your loved ones as well. Or in the next 14 days, you will have no problem with that. Because what is coming through with the bee is that you're enjoying your wealth, you're enjoying your riches in the next 14 days. Because I see someone thinking to themselves, like, if I work hard, it's to treat myself, it's to treat my loved ones, it's to have a comfortable life or to experience beautiful things, to create beautiful experiences, to create and or to build the life that I dream or that I want. Yeah, so some of you could actually be canceling meetings, like work meetings. Or maybe this is a situation if you're students where a class gets canceled and on that day that you were supposed to attend a meeting or attend a class, you end up spending it with your loved ones. You end up spending it doing something that you enjoy, that you love. Going out, having a good time, relaxing, enjoying yourself. Quite nice. I'm getting a very summery vibe with this spread. But with love, we have the park bench. And this is such a sweet energy because it makes me think of two lovers meeting at a park or having this cute meet, or meet cute is what it's called, or a couple just sitting on a park bench and enjoying each other's company as they watch the beautiful scenery in front of them, or people watch. It also makes me think of like two people engaging in a deep conversation, like getting to know each other. It also makes me think of just like peace and serenity, you know, just like sitting somewhere and observing your surroundings, taking in the sounds of your surroundings, and being in the present moment. So that could be something that you will enjoy immensely in the next 14 days, where you're just in the moment, nothing to distract you, like music that you're listening through headphones or a book that you're opening up to read. It's more just about observing your surroundings, like I said, listening to the sounds of your environment, like maybe people watching or just watching whatever is in front of you. But you could also be enjoying moments of peace and quiet, moments that you are spending with yourself, maybe actually reading a book or just listening to music. I'm getting a bit of like slow-paced living with the park bench. You could be visiting the park quite a bit or just spending a lot of time outside because, as mentioned, I was getting a very summery vibe. I keep thinking of a park, especially with the tree here in the park bench. I also keep thinking of a beach. So some of you could be visiting the beach. I also see you having deep, open-hearted conversations with loved ones. It could be with loved ones as well as with strangers, because I did talk about a meet cute. So some of you could be bumping into somebody new at some point in the next 14 days and having a beautiful, loving, and heart-touching interaction with said person. There's a lot of love here, so much love, peace, and sincerity. In the next 14 days, you're very open to receiving, like receiving love, And so I see you opening up to others. And you could find that when you're out and about, people will come up to you. It's making me think of a situation where you are sitting on a park bench and then somebody sits next to you and they spark a conversation with you. And then all of a sudden they're telling you their whole life story, or they're opening up to you. And if you end up experiencing something similar to that, it is because your energy is quite inviting. There's that word again, inviting. It's very pure, it's very magical. You're coming through as a very safe presence. And I feel like it's not only you, I also feel like it's your loved ones. That's why I took the time to talk about your family and how you're coming through as an abundant bunch, because I kept seeing a lot of auras in my mind's eye, and like every aura radiated something beautiful. Like one aura was very sparkly, another aura was golden, another aura was iridescent. So you're surrounding yourself with beautiful energies, beautiful souls, and I feel like your energy is coming through as very pure, so much so that when you interact with others, it's like you allow for them to be themselves as well and to radiate their own light. And so you're a safe zone for other souls to just come through without inhibition, without any filters. All the layers and masks that they were wearing to kind of like shield themselves, protect themselves from the harsh environment and the world, from judgment, just falls away. And they are able to just be. And I feel like it's a thing where in the next 14 days, or throughout the next 14 days, you will come to realize that every individual is a beautiful soul, right? Humans are messy. We're all messy. We all have so-called faults, and we're made of different layers like onions, but we are all of light, or we all come from light at the end of the day. And sometimes it takes for someone to see past all the layers, right? See past all of the illusions that manifest through time as we experience different things in this 3D reality, to get in touch with the essence of each individual, to get in touch with the soul or the spirit, however it is that you want to look at it. Yeah, and I feel like that's what you're doing in the next 14 days. So a lot of you could actually be clairvoyant, because the illustration on the intoxicated card is making me think of like seeing past the facades, being able to see the energy, the essence of somebody. And with the don't make plans, it makes me think of releasing judgment. It's like before you even judge someone, before you even categorize or label somebody as this or that, take the time to know them, or take the time to observe. And then you will see. Yeah, it's quite nice. I really like this energy. I hope I did it justice. But now I'm going to pull out an extra oracle card. And you know what? For some, this could be a situation in which someone will be providing you this safe space to just show your true colors, right? Allow yourself to be. And if so, this interaction will be very freeing for you and very healing as well. Because what I'm getting with the intoxicated card is that you will understand, or you will know, maybe for the first time, or what might feel like for the first time in a while, what it feels like, or how it feels like to be seen by someone, truly seen. And once you have experienced that, you might find it difficult to settle for anything less than that. That's when something in you might awaken, like that hunger to find or experience true connections, to connect with or be surrounded by people who are willing and wanting to open up, or do open up to others in this way where it allows for or gives way for true intimacy, emotional intimacy, spiritual intimacy, or soul connection. Ooh, the family tree also made me think of like a soul family. So some of you may be attracting soul family members. You could be meeting up with a soul family member at some point in the next 14 days. Because just a while ago, I was going to say that Some of you could be reuniting, or you could be uniting with a kindred spirit. But then I got totally sidetracked. Yeah, so that could be the case for some of you. And we have every problem is a messy, beautiful gift. This is making me think of the don't make plans card, because it's like life sometimes throws us curveballs, and we might complain about that, but then those curveballs could end up being a beautiful gift. So it's like you're being asked to not be so quick to decide your fate, because there is so much out there, and something beautiful may emerge from the unexpected or the uncalled for. What I heard in my mind just now is when you least expect it. So, ooh, yes. And when I first saw the sparklies in my mind's eye when meditating on this group's energy, I immediately thought of a blessing, gifts, a wish fulfillment. So, seeing that the word gift here is capitalized, you will be receiving a gift from the cosmos, from the universe, at some point in the next 14 days. A beautiful gift. The expression I just heard in my mind is coming home. Oh, yeah. I feel like either you're coming home to someone or someone is coming home to you, or if it's not someone, I say someone because that's what it feels like to me based on the energy, but sometimes like pure energy sometimes feels like it has a pulse or a warmth to it, which makes me think of like a human, a person. At least that's how I interpret things. But oh, and look, we have sparkles here. Oh. So sparkles could be of importance or significance. Sparkles, glitters, stars. But what was I saying? Yes, but if it's not a person, it just seems like you're aligning with something that is very familiar to you, that will feel like home to you. This could be something, again, that forms or is part of your soul family, soul group, or even part of your starseed family. Yeah, because these two hands here are emerging from this pool. It made me think of like a gene pool, which makes me think of like a soul family. Yeah, this feels like connecting with a kindred spirit, a kindred soul, someone who is maybe a counterpart, or this feels like reuniting with an energy that you have missed for the longest time, or have felt connected to for the longest time. Yeah, it's like now you're finally reuniting or coming into contact, physical contact perhaps, or merging is also how it's coming through. And once again, we have an eye. So this again makes me think of the third eye chakra, intuition, psychic abilities, clairvoyance, the mind's eye. It also makes me think of the all-knowing, all-seeing eye of the universe, the cosmos. Yeah, so you're working with the universe, with the cosmos, and the universe is saying, we've got your back. See? It is possible. See? We promised you this, and we are delivering, because you wanting this was never a mistake. It was never wishful thinking. It was always meant to be, because it was real. It was always real. And your soul knew it, your heart knew it. And that's why it called for it. That's why you longed for it. Because you were always connected to it. Yeah, so this is quite beautiful. The sun and the moon could be important symbols or signs. Also, an eclipse season, like either a solar or lunar eclipse season, could be of significance. Honeybees, bumblebees, bees in general could be of importance as well. Bouquets, flowers could be an important symbol or sign, as well as park benches. But now I'm going to reveal the card that is on the I meant the message that is on the card that you were drawn to. And the quotes on these cards are from the animated series Adventure Time, by the way. So we have, sometimes a well-intended wish can lead to nuts. And this was said by the character Prismo. Yeah, so a wish is coming true, you guys. And this wish coming true could mark the beginning of a new chapter in your life, or could result in a series of events that will completely change or alter things for you. Yeah, because with the don't make plans, maybe you already had your whole life planned, or you already, like I mentioned before, you already had set your mind that things were going to look a certain way for you in the future. Like, just as an example, this is an example that is coming to mind. Let's say someone has been single for a while or all their life, and they recently made up their mind that they're always going to be single. Even though they still long to be in a romantic relationship, they've made up their mind that they will always or forever be single. That's their fate in this life. But then they meet somebody and things change, because they end up falling in love with this person, and this person ends up falling in love with them. And then they enter into a beautiful relationship together, and a couple months or a year or two later, they end up getting engaged and end up getting married, or just live together and live peacefully together, create a beautiful home together, something along those lines, right? So yeah, this could be the start of something, of a new adventure. It's like, I didn't really plan for this. Maybe I expected, maybe I wished for it, but I didn't exactly plan for it, but now we're here. Like, one thing led to another, and now we're here. So one thing I can say is expect the unexpected in the next 14 days, but definitely expect to be blessed. Blessed in an area of your life. Okay? And for whatever reason, I felt called to like shuffle the deck one more time. This is the card that came out, the 3 of Spades with the number 10. And the message in the card reads, the pig, whether near or far, is an omen of phenomenal luck and great abundance, high honors, and all ambition attained. So there's your confirmation. Pigs could be of significance. The 3 of Spades could be an important omen. The number 10 makes me think of ending cycles, completion, culminations. And then the card at the bottom of the deck is the King of Hearts with Hand in Hand. And then the message on the card reads, Hand in Hand indicates confiding disposition. Friendship will warm into love. Favor will be found with superiors, and financial success. And the Hand in Hand makes me think of a greeting. Like, nice to meet you. Or nice to see you again. So you could be meeting somebody new or reuniting with someone of the past who you formed a beautiful bond with and who you still have a connection with. Yeah, I'm sensing like soul connection. You physically connecting with someone who you have some kind of soul bond, soul connection with. Yeah, because I'm sensing like a magnetic pull, and looking at this illustration, it just makes me think of warmth. Like when you hold somebody's hand and it feels right. Like their hand just feels like they belong interlinked with your hand. I'm picking up on this feeling of belonging. It's a very beautiful energy. So, and then like we have the children here. So the numbers 7, 10, 24, 58, 79 could be of significance. But the numbers that are really standing out to me personally are 7, 8, 10, and 24. You could also be seeing a lot of repeated 3s. Like 3, 3, 3. Or like numbers repeated 3 times. Like 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 7, 7, 7, 8, 8, 8. And that could be serving as some kind of confirmation or like a sign to you that all is well. You are protected. Everything's good. You are in alignment. There's nothing to worry about. Okay? But these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought you some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful next 14 days. And until the next moment, bye bye. Hello, if you were drawn to group 3, the purple squiggly line with the yellow background, bienvenidos to your reading. So the message, we are here to salvage the rest or salvage the remains and bring in light, came to mind when meditating on the energy of this group. I'm not quite sure what this means and or indicates, yet I do intuitively sense that in the next 14 days, a lot of you are going to be receiving some form of assistance. I keep thinking of a handyman or of a contractor. So you could be reaching out to a technician or a handyman to help you fix and or address a technical issue. Or if you have been planning to reach out to a technician, technical specialist, whoever it is that you end up reaching out to, they will be of great assistance to you. And you will feel or be very reassured by the experience, knowledge, skillfulness, or expertise of this person. What I heard in my mind right now was they will get the job done, and it will be a well done job. Also, I feel this energy feels very inconspicuous, by the way, a bit secretive or personal, which is that of receiving personal help, emotional support. You could be confiding in someone unexpected is how it's coming through. Something very personal. You could be opening up to this person about your emotions, your feelings, or about a very vulnerable experience or sentiment. And this someone who you are opening up to will be providing you with or bestowing upon you very insightful wisdom, advice, or guidance. Yes, so some of you could be reaching out to a professional, a medical professional, a doctor, or it could be a counselor, a therapist, or you could be reaching out to a spiritual counselor, a healer. If it's not that you're reaching out, you could find yourself simply confiding in someone, like a friend, a family member, an acquaintance. It could even be a stranger. But this feels very much on the down low. So maybe you're not sharing with loved ones, friends, or others that you confided in this person, or that you reached out to this person, or this conversation or interaction that you're having with this person is one that you're keeping to yourself. Not because you're ashamed of it or because it was a bad experience or you're afraid of other people might think. It feels more like you're keeping this to yourself simply because you want to, or you just want to keep it to yourself for the meanwhile. Like keep it sacred, keep it personal, something along those lines, okay? But now I'm going to move on to the rest of the cards to get a little bit more insider info about the next 14 days. And we have vulnerable with open, and the message, something may leave you feeling vulnerable as if all is exposed. Whatever you do, continue to fall into vulnerability. You need this learning experience to further your growth. So I was talking about you possibly confiding in someone, opening up to someone, and the vulnerable card confirms that. When I saw the illustration of the open book, it made me think of a reading. Some of you might be receiving a personal reading. It could be like a tarot reading, astrology reading. Someone may just be reading your energy. And whatever comes through in this reading, in the channeled messages, could be quite eye-opening for you, or could open you up to talk more in depth about something that you've kind of kept hidden, kept to yourself, or it could invite you to open up about your feelings, or just be a little bit more open and sincere with yourself about what it is that you have been feeling, what has been going on within, what it is that you have been thinking maybe. But I do feel like in the next 14 days, you are going to find yourself opening up, either to yourself, to someone, or it could be to others. But let me pull out a clarifier. You could also be coming across some kind of content that is going to, the word trigger came to mind, but it feels more like activate or awaken certain emotions or feelings within you. Being shown in my mind's eye a faucet, someone opening up a faucet. So as an example, maybe you're picking up a book and the content in the book, the story, pulls at your heartstrings in a way that inspires in you a certain kind of feeling that you haven't felt in a while, or it pulls at your heartstrings and kind of exposes you to vulnerability. Or maybe you watch a film and this film kind of forces you or encourages you to address a feeling, an emotion within yourself that you kind of been suppressing and or repressing. Because I feel like something is serving as a mirror. Something is helping you reflect or see something about yourself that you kind of been avoiding, ignoring, or up until this point, you just haven't really become aware of. And for some, it could be a feeling, an emotion. For others of you, it could be like a longing, a desire. Yes, but let me pull out a clarifier. The number 27 could be of significance. If it happens to be the 27th of the month in the next 14 days, that specific day could be of significance. That could be the day when you might be exposed to a new sentiment, a new feeling, or tap into a new emotion. Ooh. And to clarify, is the Joker. And the Joker is sort of like the Fool card in traditional tarot, which can speak of new beginnings. I often think of the Fool card as a clean slate. It's the before the beginning, the part of the journey where everything and anything is possible, because it is this zero major arcana of the deck, the Fool card, and zero can speak of infinite potential. Yeah, in the next 14 days, you're being quite open. I'm sensing a lot of like rawness. The Fool card also often represents a very childlike energy or essence. And so children often do not have any filters. They say what they think and they show what they feel. You know, not all children, but most children often do behave this way, live quite openly, without inhibitions and or filters. And so in the next 14 days, you will be like a child in the sense of being like an open book, not being able to hide and or mask how it is that you are truly feeling in the moment. People will be able to read it on your face, on your facial expressions, on your demeanor, or you'll just be very open and vocal about it. I sense you being quite straightforward as well, right? Where if you don't like something, you show it or you say it. I feel called to draw out another card. So I'm going to do so. So we have overstimulated with 55, spread thin, and the message, you may be working too hard. Within work or a relationship, take a moment to understand what is overstimulating your mind or body. And the card did fall out in the reversal, so I'm going to keep that in mind. So because your energy is coming through as very open, you could also find yourself being very sensitive to the energy around you, to stimuli, to other people's energies. You could also find yourself being very sensitive to content, right? Which is what I was picking up at the beginning. So you could be quite wary about what kind of content you are consuming throughout the next 14 days. Because, for example, if you are someone who doesn't really like gore or horror, in the next 14 days, you might not be able to stand watching any movies or films that have a lot of gore in it or that are horror films. Yeah, I'm sensing a lot of sensitivity here. Right? You might find yourself being very sensitive to certain media, certain topics, genres, narratives. My heart space feels very raw. So you could be feeling quite raw in the next 14 days. I know that's a weird way to put it, but it sort of feels like when a wound is healing, you know, it's starting to scab, and so it's still kind of soft and pink, and therefore pretty sensitive to touch or like textures. So I wonder if you recently done some kind of personal healing, or if you're in the process of healing like an emotional wound, or if you've recently did share something very intimate, personal, or vulnerable, and you're kind of right now or throughout the next 14 days processing that, right? Because when we open up, that leaves us in a very vulnerable and raw state. And it does take a little bit of time for us to kind of find our footing once more. So I think the advice for you guys in the next 14 days is to be gentle with yourselves and to allow yourself the time to either recover or to just soften, is how it's coming through. Come back to center, you know, kind of in a way allow for the wound to scab and to heal. But if this has nothing to do with like personal healing, inner work, I do feel like in the next 14 days, you are getting quite in touch with your feelings, with your emotions. It's kind of like you're becoming aware of your emotional depth. And you're getting quite comfortable about addressing your emotional depth. Because I do feel like you guys are either very sensitive individuals or you're quite sentimental. You do have a soft side or a soft spot for something, someone, or a group of people. But you might not often share this about yourself or talk about it or make it so obvious to others. But in the next 14 days, it's like you're letting others see this side of you. And for some, it could be that you're letting yourself see this side of you, right? Because for some of you, it could be that you hid this side of yourself from you by ignoring it or making it out as it didn't exist or actively silencing it. Yet in the next 14 days, it's sort of like you're, it exists. It is a part of who I am. And so here, take a look. Take a look inside of my journal, inside of my diary, or my inner world. You know, here, have a glimpse, have a look. I have nothing to hide, or I have nothing to hide anymore. Like, this is me. I'm being shown, like, and this is very, like, stereotypical, but someone who's perceived as very stoic because they don't often say much or express much. They often have, like, a neutral expression on their face. That they love reading romance novels, right? They love all that mushy stuff. They're actually a romantic at heart. You know, yeah, I dress all mean and I look all tough, but I love me a good romance story. And it's very matter of fact, like, yeah, I'm into that. Yeah, so with the Joker card, I am sensing a carefree energy. So in the next 14 days, either you're throwing caution to the wind, or you're caring a little less about what others think or how you are perceived or being perceived. You're freeing yourself in a way by being more honest about like who you are and what you like, what moves you, what scares you possibly, your interests, your likes and your dislikes. I keep thinking of Jane Austen novels. So some of you could be sharing with others that you love reading Jane Austen novels, or maybe that you don't like them at all, like they're not your thing at all. But Jane Austen or Jane Austen novels could be of significance, as well as like period stories or films. Yeah, and actually, some of you could be sharing with others that you find something utterly boring or unappealing, because the overstimulated card in the reversal made me think of that. Yeah, so maybe you're sharing an unpopular opinion. Maybe there's a book or a movie that everybody seems to love and you just don't get it. And for the longest time, you pretended that you liked this thing because everybody else did. But in the next 14 days, you're like, screw it. Why am I pretending? Why am I lying? How does that help anyone or anything? I'm just gonna be honest. No, I don't like it. I think it's very boring, or I think it's overrated. And for some, it could be that allowing yourself to be honest in this way is what will be very freeing for you, or is what will be freeing you in some way. And I want to clarify that, yes, I'm sensing a lot of honesty here and transparency, yet I'm not sensing any meanness, rudeness, or disrespect coming through alongside or with this honesty and transparency, right? So this is not about you using honesty as an excuse to be mean, cruel, disrespectful, or using honesty as an excuse to target something, right? To put something or someone down. Not at all, not in any way. That's not what I'm sensing here. Because this energy feels very pure, especially with the Joker card. This is simply about sincerity. Like, no, I don't like that. And the reason why I don't like that is because of this and that. Or no, I actually enjoy that. I love that. And for a lot of you, this openness might be quite new or might feel a little unfamiliar if you really haven't tapped into this in a while. And so it might take a little of adjusting to being this open, feeling your feels, connecting with your inner world, diving into the depths of your emotions. But it is something that you'll get used to over time. And the more you practice, the more you allow yourself to like feel and to express yourself, to be honest and or transparent. Yes, but with overstimulated, I do feel like at some point in the next 14 days, you could find yourself being quite sensitive. And it could be to stimuli, as in you're quite sensitive to loud noises, you're quite sensitive to certain noises or sound. You might find that you have low tolerance for certain stimuli. What came to mind in specific is taste. You could find a certain scents or maybe tastes you cannot tolerate. Yeah, it's again reminding me of a child. You know, children are often perceived as being very picky simply because they know what they like and what they don't like in the moment. Like, no, I don't like broccoli because I don't like the taste of it. I don't like its texture, or I don't like its color. And so, no, I don't want to eat it. And so you could find yourself being very decisive in that way, not picky. It's funny how we like label things at times. Like someone who knows what they want could be labeled as picky, when in reality, they're just very clear as to what they like and what they don't like, right? And so I feel like in the next 14 days, you're not sugarcoating things and you're not beating around the bush. And you're very clear as to what it is that you like, what you can stand, and what you're okay with, or what you want more of. My eyes keep being drawn to the book, or the illustration of the book. And so in the next 14 days, you could find yourself reading quite a bit, or you could find yourself being quite invested in a story, in a novel, a book, a series. Some of you could even feel inspired to write something of your own at some point in the next 14 days. But I definitely do see a lot of you being invested in a world. So it could be a world coming from a book, a novel, a story, or it could be from like a movie, a film, a television series. And the Joker card is also making me think of you possibly enjoying things that you either enjoyed when you were growing up or enjoyed as a child, or that your inner child at this moment connects with, is intrigued by. You could be picking up hobbies that you had when you were younger, or you could be revisiting something of the past, something that you invested a lot of time and energy into when you were younger. So if right now you can think of something that you were very obsessed with, like healthily obsessed with, or very into at some point in your past that brought you much joy, that would be the thing that you might be revisiting in the next 14 days. Yeah, I also see some of you picking up old passions or old interests. It could be like a passion for reading, if you used to be quite the bookworm, or maybe collecting books or writing. And with the overstimulated card, I also feel like at some point in the next 14 days, you could also be dropping some things, like dropping certain hobbies, or you could find that things that recently interested you a lot are not so interesting to you anymore. There could also be a book that maybe you started, but you were having a difficult time getting into, and instead of forcing yourself to finish it, you're just, what's the expression people in the book community use? DNF, the acronym for did not finish the book, and not feel guilty about it. Because the priority for the next 14 days is to invest your time on things that bring you joy, pleasure, or peace, tranquility. So why force yourself to sit through something that is stressing you out, boring you, or sucking the joy right out of you? No. Also, in the next 14 days, some of you could find it very easy to read energy. So if you are someone who often reads energy, if you channel messages, if you're the one who provides reading to others, you will find it very easy to tap into other people's energies and to read or to reach the current energy, the energy in a room. You will also find it very easy to read people's expressions, people's micro expressions as well. And I feel like this will be very handy and or useful for those of you who are like therapists, counselors, possibly even detectives. But one thing is for sure, you will be finding it quite easy to connect with others in the next 14 days because of how open and receptive you are to the energy around you. Yeah, so just be mindful. Just if you're starting to feel overstimulated or overwhelmed, that could be an indicator that it's time to kind of pull back by taking some time to be alone or with yourself, or taking some time to wind down, cool off, or relax, ground, come back to center by focusing on your own energy field or tapping into your inner world, your inner being, to release anything that is not of you. But let me now move on to the homemade divination dice. And so for this part of the reading, if you're wearing headphones or earphones with the volume way up, I do recommend for you to lower down the volume just to protect your eardrums, because this part of the reading might get pretty loud and noisy. Okay, so I will start in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I will only be considering and interpreting the divination dice that fell with an illustration facing up and that fell inside of the board, on the board inside of a section. Okay, so we have 3 dice, and one of them fell on work, and it is the hanger. The other 2 fell right on tasks, and it is the music note as well as the scribbles. Okay, so the hanger made me think of being hung up on something. And so with the overstimulated card being in the reversal, I am sensing that some of you could have recently gotten hung up on work. Maybe you have been overworking yourself quite a bit, or there has been a lot of work, or you've had a lot of responsibilities, commitments to attend to. And so you could be experiencing a bit of a burnout in the next 14 days. Or this could be a heads up for you guys to not overdo it, because there is a high chance or likelihood of you experiencing a burnout, right? So take care of yourself. Remember, good rest helps for us to build a strong and healthy immune system, right? If we're lacking sleep, if we're not getting enough rest, then our defenses go down. So take care of yourself, take care of your health by prioritizing rest or getting enough rest whenever it is that you can. The word overcompensation just came to mind. If you are someone who tends to compensate not having enough time for you, like me time, alone time, with staying up late, I think this behavior or tendency is called, or is known as, revenge bedtime procrastination. Right? It's like when you delay sleep so that you can have more time for you or to reclaim hours for yourself. First, I hope you get more time for yourself to utilize it however it is that you wish to, so you won't feel this need to engage in revenge bedtime procrastination, because you deserve time for you as well. And I know for a lot of people that might seem like a luxury, having time for oneself, but it shouldn't be a luxury or even a privilege. It should be something that is available to anyone. But coming back to your reading, if you tend to delay sleep or kind of force yourself to stay awake to have a little bit more time for you, this is interfering with your time for rest. You might know that already, but it is something to consider and keep in mind, because what you're being asked to, or what is needed during this time, is rest, right? And you're also being let know that sleep won't take away from your me time, because when you're asleep is the time in which you can be the closest to yourself and the closest and are more connected with your inner world. And what they're saying is that which you seek, that which you crave, is in the dream world, is in the dream space. So you're being let know, don't be afraid of falling asleep or prioritizing sleep or going to bed earlier than usual, because A, you won't be wasting time. B, that which you seek or that which you need will be provided to you during your REM sleep. C, you will have fun in your dreams, more fun in your dreams than the fun you are experiencing by staying up late or forcing yourself to stay awake. And D, going to sleep on time will allow for you to process more information or to retain information a lot better. Because what also is coming through is that some of you could be pulling all-nighters to study, or to study more, to review. Or you could be pulling all-nighters trying to find a solution to a problem. And what they're saying is, if you're trying to find a solution to a problem, the solution will come to you in your sleep. Like, once you are resting, the solutions will come to you. Like, it's okay for you to study and to review, but you don't have to review so much, because going over something once or maybe even twice is enough for you to retain the information or understand it, if you allow yourself time to just properly rest. Because it's like, I'm being shown like a computer. It's like you download a software into a computer and then you just leave it there so that it can kind of like process all of that information. And so when you're asleep, it's when you're processing all of the information, you're kind of like integrating it. So sleep isn't so bad. Resting isn't so bad. So if you can go to bed earlier, then do so without guilt, because you're going to get more out of that than if you force yourself to stay up late trying to reclaim time for yourself or do more. Yes, but if you have been overworking yourself, or you have been asking for more time at work, just be careful and mindful with that, because all this overworking, all these extra hours, overtime could end up resulting in a burnout. And then we have the music note and the scribbles that fell right on tasks. And this immediately made me think of someone who is mindlessly working or doing a task, getting through tasks, which I like and at the same time I don't like, because if it's important for you to focus on whatever it is that you're doing, then you spacing out will not be good at all. Because if you are spacing out, it's most likely because you're either lacking sleep or rest. So just please keep that in mind. And if you're feeling sleepy, right, if your head is just not in it, If you find yourself spacing out a lot, don't force yourself or don't put yourself in any situation where you need to be 100% focused. Be honest about your state, your mental, emotional, and physical state, and remove yourself from any situation that does require for you to be 100% on it or 90% on it, okay? For your own safety and also for the safety of others in the next 14 days. Very important. Also, the music note and the scribbly lines is making me think of like whistling to a tune or kind of listening to music as you are doing your chores, running errands. So music could be a soothing balm for a lot of you. I did talk about some of you being very sensitive to sound, noise. So in the next 14 days, you could be very selective about the music that you're listening to, or you could have a certain playlist that you play whenever you do need to self-soothe or ground or get motivated, right? And you're using this playlist or playlists in the next 14 days. Yeah, so music could be a tool that will serve you well. And what came through in specific is white noise. A lot of you could be making use of white noise to focus, to ground, possibly even to fall asleep. Yeah, but you could find yourself being quite resistant to certain sounds and or noises. Also, this is reminding me of what some people recommend, which is to refrain from overstimulating yourself before going to bed. It's making me think of like abstaining from scrolling through social media right before going to bed. That way you won't end up going to bed with all of these images in your mind. It's like giving your brain a little break, a little time to clear itself and kind of slow down so that then it can prepare to not exactly shut down, but enter into sleep mode. So just kind of like take some time to wind down before getting ready to go to bed, and that will help you with getting better sleep and also with resetting, right? It might also help with, regulating your nervous system a bit. Yeah, because with the Joker, I am sensing excitement. So I feel like you are going to be engaging with things that do excite you and do intrigue you. But at the same time, you're being asked to like balance that excitement out with rest, with adequate rest, with time of peace, of tranquility, of serenity, because I feel like it's needed at this time or for the next 14 days. Okay? It could also be like, if you can, before going to bed, give yourself some time where you're not working, where you're not studying, absorbing information, producing, to give yourself some time to unwind and prepare for sleep and for rest. Okay? But let me now pull out an oracle card to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance for you guys. And we have knowing what you don't want helps you find out what you do want. Spend more time focusing on what you want and watch your belief grow and desires come. Yeah, I did talk about you being quite selective in the next 14 days. You knowing exactly what it is that you want, maybe through knowing what you don't like and what you don't want, right? So yeah, you could find yourself being quite assertive, decisive in the next 14 days. And in the next 14 days, you could be focusing more on that which, sparks your curiosity, sparks joy in you, and sparks your inner flame, right? It's like you're a sunflower and you're facing in the direction of the sun and the direction of the light, that which gives you energy and fuels you. Yeah, the sun also makes me think of optimism. So you could be having a more optimistic outlook on life, on things. The sun also makes me think of exposure, as well as expressing oneself. So you could be a lot more expressive in the next 14 days. You could also be finding a creative outlet that allows for you to express yourself in a more sincere and authentic way, without inhibition, without filters. Yeah, I kept thinking of like painting. So some of you could be painting, drawing, but it doesn't have to be that creative outlet. It could be something else entirely, because I'm also seeing performance, singing, dancing possibly, or something completely different. But now I'm going to reveal the message on the card that you were drawn to. And the quotes on these cards are from the animated series Adventure Time, by the way. And we have Get in Touch with Your Feelings, Babe. And this was said by the character Lumpy Space Princess. Acronyms could be of significance for you guys. You could be texting a lot, maybe texting back and forth with somebody. Yeah, you tend to text with someone, or just you tend to text late into the night. Yeah, that could be a habit you might want to look into if it is messing with your sleep, or with your sleep pattern, sleep schedule, with your circadian rhythm or circadian cycle. Or in the next 14 days, someone might be reaching out to you via text or DMs late at night. Yeah, some of you could be choosing to turn off your notifications or silencing your phone, and only allowing for like emergency calls or anything of that sort to just get better sleep. Yeah, but definitely you're getting in touch with your feelings in the next 14 days. The color purple could be of significance. See, sun imagery could also be of significance. Books, literature, novels, stories, narratives, journals, diaries, agendas could be of importance as well. And the word full, or the full card, could be an important sign or a key factor for the next 14 days. The number 5, 55, and 27 could also be important. And you could be seeing a lot of repeated 5s or repeating numbers, angel numbers, which could be serving as a confirmation or could hold a specific meaning for you. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. Thank you very much. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful next 14 days. And until the next moment, bye bye. Hello, if you were drawn to group 4, bienvenidos to your reading. So the word calm came to mind when meditating on this group's energy. And I did notice I myself felt quite calm, and my energy felt light throughout the meditation. I also did notice that my posture improved a bit during the meditation. I tend to slouch, which I know is not good, but when I was meditating, I felt quite tall, taller than I normally feel sitting down, and it was because I was sitting upright. I wasn't slouching, which made me think of confidence, having confidence. So in the next 14 days, either you're trusting yourself or you're trusting a process, and that is leaving you feeling confident or possibly relaxed, at ease. It could also be that your spirit guides, if you believe in spirit guides, are coming through to ask of you to trust. Again, either in yourself or in a process, because possibly trusting is the key to unlocking a door of opportunity, unlocking your own potential, or having a wonderful experience. I also feel that you're being encouraged to have a little bit more confidence in yourself, your abilities, capabilities, skills, knowledge, talents, or even charm. What I just heard in my mind was, you've prepared, you've worked hard, you've done well enough. Trust in this. Okay? Ooh, that was quick. Oh, and we have number 78 with don't make plans, spontaneity, and the message, sometimes planning too early in advance has a strong probability of things not turning out exactly how you planned. Don't put any expectations into a situation. Go with the flow and allow in spontaneity. More fun surprises are accepted this way. Okay, what immediately came to mind when I saw this card was a scenario in which someone had already made up their mind that things weren't going to work out well for them, or that they were going to fail at something, not do well. And it's like they were already predicting an outcome, expecting an outcome before they even saw any kind of results, before they either even got started or allowed for things to unfold. And so if this resonates with you, if this is your case, the Don't Make Plans card is here to remind you to be mindful of your own expectation of things and to not be too quick to call quits or to assume the worst, right? Because nothing has been set in stone yet. So anything can happen. So you're being advised to stay open to the possibilities, all possibilities, not just the so-called negatives or the ones that don't look so good. Because at this point, the best case scenario is still very much a possibility. It can very much happen. Okay, this energy here, or the messages coming through for this group, are very similar to what came through for, I believe it was either group 3 or group 4. So maybe you were also drawn to one of those groups. Yeah, and if you did end up selecting 2 groups, this one and another one, and if in the other group that you ended up selecting or watching as well, this card also fell out, then this message is definitely for you. But let me pull out a clarifier. So we have the 9 of Wands with number 26, the park. And it's interesting because we have a little park bench here. And yes, in the other group in which this card also fell out, the park bench or a park bench also appeared. It would be quite interesting or quite a confirmation if you were drawn to the 2 groups in which both this card and the park bench appeared. But the number 26 could be of significance for you guys. If it happens to be the 26th of the month, sometime in the next 14 days, that specific day could be of importance. You could be meeting someone important on that day, like someone who will be playing a significant role in your life in the next 14 days, or who will be some kind of catalyst, or might make you a really good offer, or might present you with an amazing opportunity. So the 9 of Clubs often indicates achievement. It can also indicate a sudden windfall, a stroke of luck. So you're being advised to keep an open mind for the next 14 days. Don't be too quick to either make any plans, assume the worst, or assume the same old, because I feel like universe might be throwing you a curveball or might be surprising you quite a bit with either a stroke of luck, an unexpected blessing, or meeting. The park bench often makes me think of a reunion or of a first encounter. So you may be bumping into someone that maybe you thought you would never see again or reconnect with once more. Or you could be bumping into or crossing paths with someone who you never thought would make an appearance in your life. And this is someone who you might have never met in the past. Maybe you know of this person, but you've never seen them in the flesh. Or what else is coming through is this could be someone who maybe you imagined, like the characteristics of this person, their personality, their traits are ones that you only ever dreamed of, but you never thought that a person who had these traits, characteristics, or qualities actually existed. And then sometime in the next 14 days, you stumble upon someone who fits the bill. And it's like, whoa, I dreamed of this, but I didn't really expect it to be real. Something else that is coming through is if you recently canceled plans with someone who you were hoping to meet up with, reunite with, or spend time with, at some point in the next 14 days, this person could be dropping in unexpectedly without warning to visit. Either that or it is you who is surprising somebody else with an unexpected visit. I also do feel like you are being advised to not make any plans in the next 14 days just for this period of time. I'm not sure why, actually. I just feel like you're being advised to not make any plans, to hold out from making any plans in the next 14 days. Like, if something is meant to happen, it will happen without you needing to make plans for it. I do feel called to draw out one more card, and I'm going to draw out a tarot card, actually. And we have the Ace of Wands in the upright with breakthrough, inspiration, and new direction. Yeah, so with the Ace of Wands, Ace is indicating new beginnings. Yeah, in the next 14 days, you could be extended an unexpected offer. You could be experiencing some kind of breakthrough, maybe a milestone. And again, this feels like something that you weren't really expecting for it to happen either in the next 14 days or at this stage of your life. Maybe you were looking forward to it, but in terms to the timing, this isn't what you were really envisioning, imagining, and or anticipating, right? So this could be like experiencing a milestone, a breakthrough or victory a little earlier than anticipated. You may also be receiving good news. The Ace of Wands is making me think of traveling. So some of you could be receiving news that you now can travel or that now you are allowed to travel. Maybe you have been applying for a visa, for a work permit, and you were expecting to get approved at some later time, but then sometime in the next 14 days you receive the news that no, it has been approved. You have received early approval or permission. And that comes as a good surprise, because I do see you experiencing a good surprise. I also feel like there is going to be some kind of change of plans, because something has either happened or come in earlier than anticipated. Yeah, because the Nine of Clubs is reminding me of the Nine of Wands in traditional tarot, which can speak of like perseverance and pushing through. It can also sometimes indicate setbacks. And so with the Ace of Wands as a clarifier, it seems like something that you've been working towards to, something that you kind of been struggling with, or something that you were already anticipating would take a long time, or it would be very, very difficult. It would be a struggle to get it done, see it through, make it happen, accomplish it, achieve it, etc. The next 14 days, or at some point in the next 14 days, you're being shown or proved that no, it actually is not going to take that long, or that it's not going to be that difficult or as difficult as you imagined or anticipated, because it's getting done. It's happening in the next 14 days, right? Or you're experiencing some kind of major breakthrough when it comes to it, right? So like, for example, if this is a process with a lot of steps and you thought, oh man, just getting through the first step is going to take forever. And so I can only imagine how long it's going to take to complete this whole process. But then in the next 14 days, you manage to get through the first step and maybe even the second step. And that's a major breakthrough because you've gotten two things out of the way. You're so much closer to the end goal than you were before. And this might especially feel like a victory if the first step, right, or the first stage was known to be the hardest or the most difficult part. Because now that you've gotten this out of the way, the rest will be a piece of cake. Easy peasy. And so it kind of like guarantees success in a way, guarantees that this will get done or that you will achieve this, or this kind of confirms to you that this is possible. Like, yeah, I can do this. If I stick to it, if I continue on, I can definitely achieve this. I can make this happen, right? So I feel like you're receiving good news. You're receiving positive reinforcement in the next 14 days or at some point in the next 14 days. This could also be about something that you've kind of lost hope it will ever happen for you, or that it will ever happen. Because the Ace of Wands is making me think of someone who has been on this long journey and they're wondering whether they will ever reach the end of it. Like, I've been on this journey, walking for miles and miles and miles. I've seen several sunrises and sunsets. And still, I haven't reached the end of this journey. So I'm starting to wonder whether there is an end to this journey, whether I will see the other side of this hill. whether there is another side to this hill, or if it's all just been an illusion. And then at some point in the next 14 days, they get to this point where they get a glimpse of the end of this journey and receive confirmation that, no, yes, there is another side to this hill. And I'm on my way, and I have been on my way, and I'm about to reach it, or I've reached it. I'm here. I've done it. It's happened. Yeah, because the Ace of Wands makes me think of victory, like achieving, accomplishing something, seeing the light of day. So you will be surprised at some point in the next 14 days. That is for sure. And this will be a good surprise. What else I'm seeing is inspiration will strike at some point, and this inspiration will invite something new into your life. Because the example that is coming to mind is of a creator who gets inspired to start a new project that is completely different from what they have worked on before, right? And so working on this new project would lead them or their career in a new direction. It could reshape their creative process or even their image as a creator, because via this project, they will be stepping into new territory in a way, or experimenting maybe with new medium, or they would be branching out, right? So at some point in the next 14 days, things could be taking an unexpected turn from you trying something new or taking on some kind of opportunity that will require for you to either step into new territory or explore something new. This could also be a situation in which maybe you are presented with an offer that if you were to take it, it exposes you to something entirely new, right? Like a new way of doing things or a new career field, a new passion perhaps, because the Ace of Wands can speak of passion. But if it's not an offer, an opportunity extended to you by something or someone else, this could be through you getting some kind of idea, like a creative idea or an idea to, learn something new or make some kind of changes. I also feel like passion will be reignited at some point in the next 14 days. This could connect with what came through at the beginning, which is maybe you were losing passion for something because you weren't seeing any kind of progress or you weren't getting any positive reinforcement from this. And then at some point in the next 14 days, your passion for this is reignited because you start seeing progress or you receive some kind of positive reinforcement, right? You see or you experience something that confirms to you or reassures you, hey, no, this is going to work, or you are on the right path, keep on going. Yeah, I feel like some of you could have been waiting for some kind of sign, reassurance, or confirmation, whether you should keep on going with something or pursuing something. And I feel like in the next 14 days, you will receive that confirmation. But now let me move on to the homemade divination dice. Oh, and for this part of the reading, if you're wearing headphones or earphones with the volume way up, I do advise for you to consider lowering down the volume just to protect your eardrums, because this part of the reading might get pretty loud and noisy. And I will start in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I will only be considering the dice that fell with an illustration facing up on the board and inside of a section. Okay, so we have a couple of them. One of them fell right in between work and money, which is the heart. 2 of them fell right on the money section, which is the light bulb and the telescope. Ooh. And then the last one fell on tasks, which is the sun. I like this. The sun indicates success, happiness, joy. It can also indicate exposure and breakthroughs. And it's beautiful because in the Ace of Wands, we literally have a sun or a sunrise. I'm assuming it's a sunrise, symbolic of breakthroughs. And so the sun falling right on task lets me know that in the next 14 days, anything that you need to get done, you will be getting it done and done successfully. Right? So tasks, chores, errands will be completed successfully. Deadlines will be met successfully. If you have to meet or fill out any requirements, you will be meeting them or filling them out successfully at some point in the next 14 days. And if you're turning anything in, if you need to get any kind of approval or you're completing something which you either will or could get feedback for, the feedback you will get for this will be positive. Yeah, for example, if you need to turn something in, like an assignment, or if someone commissioned something from you, if someone requested a specific service from you, the customer, the client, whoever is reading through your work or evaluating your work will be quite pleased with your work. Very pleased, actually. And I'm also sensing gratitude. I'm sensing a lot of like happiness and excitement coming from someone. It could be from you getting a good score, you getting positive feedback, definitely. But I feel like it will also be from the person who is reviewing your work, evaluating it, or receiving your service, right? I'm sensing someone being completely ecstatic with the results. And then with the heart falling out right in between work and money, this lets me know that there is a love for, or there will be love for the work, your work, especially any work that is being monetized or that you're receiving profit from. Yeah, so as mentioned previously, for those of you who kind of been losing passion for something that you've been working on or developing, in the next 14 days, that passion is going to be revived. Because I see you pouring your heart into what it is that you do. And I feel like in the next 14 days, how much you're pouring into something, you're getting back. It could be in terms to acknowledgement, positive feedback, but also in terms to like material gain, right? Profit, revenue, compensation. I feel like you guys have worked very hard for something. You put up a lot of hours, a lot of effort, and it's starting to show in the outcome, in the results, in the acknowledgement, and or in the next 14 days, your efforts are being very much appreciated and are valued. And the little heart is making me think of like likes or literally hearts, receiving heart. So definitely in the next 14 days, you will be receiving positive feedback. You could be receiving a lot more engagement. And not only will you be receiving praise, but you will also be receiving some kind of compensation or accolades, because I see this being a situation in which someone is either receiving a bonus, commission money, a generous tip or very generous tips, a pay raise, or a promotion with a pay raise. But you will see an increase in profit, revenue, salary, or just money. For others of you, this could be a situation in which you're getting some kind of discount, right? As a token of gratitude, you could be receiving a discount from somebody, or some kind of special pass where you don't really have to pay for a service or entry somewhere. Sort of like you're giving a VIP pass, special treatment, or free access to something. Or you're given some kind of grace period is also what is coming through. But I see you receiving a token of gratitude or appreciation via some monetary compensation. I'm also seeing a specific situation for those of you who are content creators or who do have a social media presence where, you know, your work is receiving a lot more engagement, a lot more likes. And because of this, you're profiting more from your content. If you post or are very active on a social media platform where people can donate money or tip you, you may be receiving a lot of tips. Or if you accept tips, you are receiving a lot of tips. This is also making me think of like affiliated links. So if you work with those, have those, I feel like you're going to get quite a bit of like revenue or profit from that, because I'm seeing a lot of engagement. I'm also seeing a situation in which you could be contacted by sponsors. Yeah, because I feel like people are loving your work. And because of that, you're seeing an increase in revenue. Yeah, and this could be encouraging you to keep on doing what it is that you're doing, or maybe it's encouraging you to try new things. It's also fueling your creativity, perhaps, because now you're getting more engagement, or you now seeing profit from this could also be reassuring you that this is worth considering making into a business or a source of income, or a secondary or primary source of income. Because I see someone thinking to themselves like, this is worth investing more time, energy, possibly even resources in. Yeah, so things seem to be working out for you in the money and work department. And then for money alone, we have the light bulb, which makes me think of an idea, inspiration striking, experiencing an aha moment. So as mentioned before, some of you could be receiving an idea to try something new, maybe to make more money, or maybe that's not the initial goal. Maybe you're not thinking of ways on how to make more money. Maybe you just get an idea to try something new. And then this idea, you trying this idea, results in you making more money, right? Because the telescope makes me think of the long-term future. It also makes me think of potential, seeing the potential of something. Or seeing how far you can take something, how far something can go. And so at some point in the next 14 days, you are either going to come up with something, or you're going to receive an idea that you will see a lot of potential in, and you can actually see yourself working on or doing for quite some time, or you can actually expand upon. Because sometimes we get ideas, but they're not really detailed. Like the idea is just the gist of something. And so it's sometimes difficult to know where to start, how to start, or what steps we need to take to make this idea a reality. But in this situation, I feel like the idea is going to be very clear, so clear to you that you will be able to kind of formulate a plan in regards to it. Break it down into steps, into small goals, perhaps, if this is a goal that you are wanting to achieve. Because that could be the case for some as well. But the telescope is also making me think of like a new destination, like looking into what else is out there, your horizons being widened. And so it seems like your life is taking a new direction, or a new path is opening up for you at some point in the next 14 days. And I feel like that's why you were advised to keep an open mind during this period. Because you're being let know that anything is possible, right? You're not limited to 1, 2, or 3 paths or options. There are other options out there, and there are other paths that are opening up for you. And of course, it will be up to you to decide whether you want to take them or not, venture further into them. But they are out there, and they will be presented to you, or they will start presenting themselves to you in the coming days, starting at some point in the next 14 days. And this path will definitely have to do with like career, money, business, work, and so forth. And I see a lot of you being quite excited about the new direction something is taken, or that you're headed into, because you can see yourself doing this for quite a while. It's like you can literally see yourself in your mind's eye doing this for quite a while and loving doing this, because the heart being right in between work and money is letting me know that whatever it is that you are adventuring into next, or you're trying out or pursuing, continuing to develop, is something that you're going to have a great love for, that you're going to be very passionate about, that you're going to find yourself pouring your heart into, because it will mean, or it does mean something very important to you, or it is like a very personal journey, something that you've made into your own, or is that very much a part of you, or it will feel or it does feel that way to you. This is pretty cool. I like this energy. Yeah, so keep an open mind, keep an open heart in the next 14 days, because opportunities will present themselves to you. But now I'm going to pull out an extra oracle card to get any last messages, advice, and guidance. I feel like some of you are either at the start of something or at the brink of some kind of breakthrough. Maybe you have received an idea recently, but up until now you haven't been able to formulate a plan in regards to it. And if so, it could be at some point in the next 14 days that things are becoming a little bit more clear to you. And it's interesting because you were being advised to not make plans in the next 14 days. Yeah, so maybe this period is more about allowing for things to unfold in your mind, for things to kind of slowly reveal themselves to you. Because I feel like this is whatever is coming, this idea or whatever idea is coming to you in the next 14 days or starting to like unfold for you is one that has come from the universe. It's like it's an option that the universe is presenting to you. And so they're kind of saying, let us show you what we're going on about or have been going on about. Let us show you what we see. And so maybe that's why you're being advised to not make plans, because universe is saying, don't be too quick to assume what this is all about or to give it a name or to give it a label before it has the chance to even reveal itself to you. Let it reveal itself to you first. Then you can make up your mind about it, right? But if you haven't seen much of it yet, or you sort of just got the gist of it, then our advice to you is give it a little bit more time. Practice a little bit of patience, because there's more that has yet to be revealed or exposed to you about this. So it's in the next 14 days where there will be more revelations. And then again, we have the sun here with the message, keep up your positive vibrations by finding things that feel good when you think about them. Yeah, so you're being advised to focus on that which excites you, because that, what came through is because that is where the money is, or that is what universe is trying to show you more of or reveal to you or give you more details about, right? So focus on that and let that unfold in your mind, or let that fuel you forward, because if you do, that's when you will find yourself guided to where you need to go, where you need to be, to obtain more information about this new direction, this new path, or gain more clarity about this idea that is reinvigorating you. But now I'm going to reveal the message on the card that you were drawn to, and the messages on these cards are actually quotes from the animated series Adventure Time, if you were interested in knowing where they came from. And we have an interaction between the two main characters, Jake and Finn, where Jake says, I don't think you've mastered it yet. And Finn replies, well, no, duh. I just started. Yeah, so some of you could be starting some kind of new journey, new adventure, or if you recently started something new. And recent could be like a few months back. It could even be like 1, 2, 3 years ago. Very much depends. Time is arbitrary. And you feel like you have a long way to go. Remember, some things take time and a lot of practice. So if you feel like you haven't mastered something yet, it could just be because you just started. You're still an apprentice, you're still learning, you're still practicing, developing your skills, getting familiar with an industry, getting the hang of things. So just give yourself a little bit more time, and not only time, but also allow yourself more opportunities to practice, right? Because practice is very important when it comes to mastering something. Challenging yourself in healthy ways is also crucial if you're aiming to get better at something, experience breakthroughs, and or progress. So just keep that in mind, because oftentimes we think that just time alone will fix things. Time alone will give us the answers. or make us wiser. But no, it's not just about time. It's about experience as well and what you make of your time. So just keep that in mind. But let's see, things I want to point out. White furry animals or foxes, blue or green colored insects, sun symbolism imagery could be of significance, as well as park benches. Planners or agendas could also be of importance. Heart-shaped things and telescopes. Oh, something that just came to mind looking at the Ace of Wands. If you end up getting lost on your way to somewhere, you will find your way eventually. And although it might feel like you were lost or got lost, in reality, you weren't lost. You were simply redirected. Maybe you were meant to see something on your way to your destination, and that's why you were redirected, like new sceneries or like a specific location, or you were meant to experience something in specific, and that's why you were redirected. It wasn't that you were lost or that you were wandering. You were simply being redirected for a purpose, for a reason. Okay. Oh, and something else that just came to my mind. I did speak about you possibly reuniting with or meeting someone, experiencing an important first encounter. And this first encounter or this reunion could be happening because of work, through work, or at work while you're working. Your first encounter could be at your job or at their job while they're working or while you're working. It could even be a situation in which maybe this person is requesting of your services or you're requesting of this person's services, and that's how you meet or reunite. Something along those lines. But only take that which resonates, right? And consider only that which feels right or you know it applies to you. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful next 14 days. And until the next moment, bye-bye.